possibility. Am I standing in your way? Try to show up in love, but you push away. Looking around your family, sometimes distractions in your face. But I'm trying to tell you, but I don't feel I have a play. We got to go through the constant we can talk about what we need. If I stayed out we gain, our love wasn't made. It's no change, no change. It's still the same. I ain't heard from you in days, so please.
Yes, salutations, salutations, everyone. A soul without a heart. Yes, I definitely want to talk about that profound title. That's the title of the album of my next guest that you saw perform just now. So you know, I got back from church, so I had to make sure I have my bra on still, so I could present to you, introduce to others, a talented singer, songwriter, model, actor, all of these things and more. So I really appreciate him coming through for us. So I want to make sure that I introduce to you and present to others DJ the Singer. There he is, Mr. DiiJai The Singer in the
There
building.
I am.
There
Hello.
you are. There you are. Yes, thank you so
Hello.
much. Thank you so much for being in the building with me. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. I couldn't wait in the back anymore. I was glad you finally brought me to the front. Thank
Yeah,
you for that
right?
amazing intro too. That was
Oh,
quite an intro.
oh. Yeah, well deserved, well deserved. I want to make
Thank
sure
you.
that I did you justice. Yeah, but Soul Without a Heart, DJ. Tell me about that title, please.
That title represents me during a phase of my life where I was in an abusive relationship.
Mm.
So that title represents that. It represents people I used to know. It represents the people that may find themselves in such a space. So the title is a double entendre, as are some of the titles on the record. And I just wanted to do something. Like I said, we talk about healing and feelings. So this album is definitely the feelings. We're about to get to the healing part in just a minute. But yes, this album is a few different things.
So let me ask you this. I'm gonna kind of dig a little deeper with that because I love that title.
Thank
So,
you.
right, yeah. So okay. So I know double entendre as far as finding the soul within, but also being soulful in your music. So that's kind of what I interpreted. All
Hmm.
right. And so with that being said, having no heart in it, it kind of cancels each other out. You know. So I'm wondering, does that make sense to you? Like, kind of, is that?
So for me, it was more or less like when we talk about just the place I was in life at that time. We're we're a shell. Any human is a shell.
Yes. Yes.
And in order for that shell to come to life, you need a soul, you need a heartbeat. But when you're dealing with an individual that is constantly taking from you, at some point you're going to be depleted. You have nothing. So even the heart to do what it is that you're supposed to be doing, you don't even have it. There was a point in that situation where I felt like even if I left, I felt like I would die. So it was just like, so it's all of those things tied into one, and that's kind of the story that's being told throughout the album. And I didn't want to go and tell people, well, this is what you're going to hear, or whatever the case may be. I kind of wanted people to kind of find the story and develop their own interpretation of what the album is. The album for me may mean one thing, but to somebody else it may mean something else. And so I wanted them to be the one to interpret what it is.
Okay. All right. Well said. So now I also want to get into, you mentioned about how you felt that you was, doing a lot of giving and not as much, not as much was reciprocated,
Mhm.
and that's when you feel like your soul left you because you lost yourself in a relationship, so your soul left you. How did you get it back?
Well, I one thing that I can say about me, I am a giver through and through. I oftentimes will give in and pour into people that won't pour back into me, or give to people that won't give back to me. So that's just naturally who I am. I'm the vessel, but I also had to learn there are limitations with that. A giver is never going to stop. Is never going to say stop giving, because that's what they do. They thrive off of
Yeah.
what they're acquiring. They
Mhm.
are a beneficiary, for lack of better words. They're never going to say stop. You have to have enough self-love and self-control to say no. I'm not entertaining this, or I'm not giving any more to this. And be intentional about it. Be
Yeah.
intentional about it. That also plays a major role. But at the time, like I said in the very beginning, because this album took a while to make, because while I'm creating it, I'm living it too. And so I evolved as a not just as a human, but as a grown man. I evolved in that space because I learned about accountability. I learned what it means to stand in what it is that you do. So these are things that were acquired over time. When I first started working on this, I accountability, what's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ownership, what's that? But we those are things that were acquired over time.
And I'm glad, and I love that for you, and I'm glad that you were able to. Because I think we all have a hard time. Because I know I have. I evolved a whole lot, DJ, throughout the years, but I do understand that part. Because unfortunately, and just a little piece here. I just want to insert this real quick. So we talk about accountability, because a lot of men, and no matter what orientation, a lot of men, they have a hard time with women taking accountability, and I get it.
I've been reading that a lot.
Yes. Oh, but it's true. It's true. As a woman myself, it's true, DJ. We do. You know,
Okay.
we have a hard time owning it because, and you know what? I think it's I also blame it on not just the feministic aspect of things, but also the double standard of it all. There's a lot of double standard. Double standard goes both ways. But when it comes to women, there's more. Um, is more geared towards us when it comes to what we're able to be accountable for. And I'm gonna give you an example. When women have the tendency of wanting to buck up on a man, or they want equal rights, but only when it's convenient. You know what I mean? They want to
Hmm.
change the trajectory when it comes to equal rights. But I'm like, well, you can't expect to curse at a man, or buck up at a man, and you're not going to buck back. They starting to hit back nowadays. It's not like before when it was go up not to hit a girl. No, they hitting you back.
They're hitting
You
you
know,
back nowadays.
yeah, they
Things are
hit you back.
changing.
Yes, because you started stuff, but you started it. And you can't play the damsel in distress and play that woman card. And be the victim, but you started it.
And I
So
think as an adult, I'll even say, I just to piggyback off of that part, as an adult, that is a part for me that is a trigger in any situation. Like,
yeah,
don't just look at the result. Don't just look at the result. Look at what got you the result. You got to take ownership of that part. I literally just talked to
hmm
a friend about this
hmm
last night. Like, why is this man upset with you? What did you do?
hmm
That well
well,
is that's yours. You got to sit in that.
it's
And
that well
having to
right there.
sit in it is the hard part. It's hard to sit in those things, but I don't care who it is. Get you some damn help. Get you a therapist. Get you a therapist. Get you a life coach. Get you somebody that you
Right.
trust. Even if it's a preacher, somebody. Get you somebody that you trust that is responsible, and somebody who can guide you to the guide you the right way. Because you can have guidance, but all guidance isn't good guidance.
Well, it's
So
against no.
get you somebody that's gonna pour into you, but tell you, hey baby, you messing up, or
Right.
hey baby, you wrong,
Put it
and
together.
there's no way around that. And I
Yes.
think if
hmm
you have more people that are willing to do that, I think overall things can shift. But people are afraid to say anything, and people feel like they don't do anything. So
Yeah.
it's
'Cause, I mean, what's that going to solve? What's the purpose in that? But
it's
also,
not.
and going back to what you were saying about going back into the music space, and what you were saying about giving more of yourself. That's another thing. A woman expects for a man to give of themselves, be the provider, and all this stuff. But when it comes to asking what they bring to the table, what you mean? What you say? What do you bring to the table? Not no, I'm not talking about just looks. I'm not talking about just
Your
what's
hoo ha.
you know when you be, I am the table. Yeah, you could be the table, but what ingredients? Like what meals are you bringing to the table? What else is there? give a little bit more. So that's another thing too, another double standard right there. So I
Yeah,
want
the
to
people
give you
the
a couple
people
of
don't bring
examples. Yeah,
anything to the table these days. I don't know. I just don't know.
yeah, 'cause, yeah. I'm the table, but I gotta present more. I'm presenting. You know, I'm presenting a set. I'm like that table is set for you. So yeah, there's a difference.
But
So
even in that, you have
yes,
to even with that table being set, you still have to give grace too. I think grace
yes. Oh yeah,
is a thing that has to come from both ends. Everybody's
absolutely.
not going to have it 100% together.
All
Are you
right.
willing to build with this person from where
Yes,
they are and be there through their evolution? So when they
yes.
actually have the full table, because they may come with the top of the table, but they may not have the legs,
The
or they
legs.
may come with the table, but they don't have no chairs. Like, are you gonna tough it out? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
right. But come with
I'm
something,
seeing
bring
endurance
something.
is a
Yeah,
it's a thing of
yeah. But yeah, I
it's
understand
a
what
rare
you're
thing.
saying. But bring something though. You got to bring something.
You got to
You
bring
got
something.
yes, you got to bring something. You can't because we're not in our 20s anymore. So we can't just be like building a whole table from scratch. No, you got to come with something.
Mm-mm. I don't know how many more summers I got left, but I ain't wasting them on you.
Right.
No,
See? Right.
no.
So you get it. But I'm glad that you're able. That self reflection is so important, DJ. So I'm proud of you for that. That self
Thank you.
reflection, the boundaries that you put forth. And so before we dive into your background, I want to know more about you setting those boundaries and what's your approach towards remaining steadfast in those boundaries and knowing when to kind of balance it, like you said, knowing when to give a little grace, but knowing when to say, okay,
I'm
this
a
is your
firm
line.
believer or I'm a firm believer in having good people around you, but having real people around you. Everybody's real. Let everybody tell it. I'm real. I'm real. I'm real. Everybody's Jennifer Lopez. But everybody's Jennifer Lopez. But are you really though? Like, do you say something when it's tough to say it? And how do you say it? You see what I'm saying? Like, can you be real with me when it's hard to be real with me?
Mm,
Can you even when I'm going through something, can you be like, okay, friend, like I know you going through this, but let me just show you the mirror to this real quick. Like, can you be that friend? And for me in this relationship, I have a close girlfriend. Jayla is like my sister, love her down. She has done backgrounds for me. She has helped me
okay.
move. Like she's been around. And was dealing in this situation and something happened, and one thing that she said to me was she was just like, I really want you to do an assessment of this relationship. We're not going to pro and con and should I stay, whatever. I just want you to look at something. Look at this relationship. You don't even bring this person around us. That right there is a telltale sign.
Right.
But if the people that are in your space, I don't care what the relationship is, if the people that are in your space, if they don't make you feel the way that your real friends make
Hmm.
you feel, if
Right.
they don't make you feel the way that you feel when you're around your family, those are people that should not be in your space. Those are people that are not adding to you. Those are people that are taking from you. And they very well may be good people, but they're not your people.
They're not in
And you
alignment.
got to be okay with letting those people go. I
Hmm.
have a tendency to try to reason with
Hmm.
people's
Hmm.
foolishness, even their bad ways. People have done things, people have said things, people have, whatever. And I'm always the one to try to reason. I'm always the one we can have a conversation. But sometimes a conversation is
It's
not
not for
needed.
everyone. It's not for
It's
everyone.
not needed. Everybody is not worthy of a conversation with you. Sometimes take the offense and run. And
Yes.
for me, that was my okay. I'm here in this situation. I don't like the way I feel in this situation. I can't even be me. I can't even laugh. And so here I am with this person. I'm miserable. All I do is cry.
Mm,
Like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm so wrapped up in you trying to make sure I don't upset you. But here I am, I'm upset all the time and I
mm.
don't have an outlet. You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, okay, these are the things that gotta shift. You can't stay. But in addition to you not being able to stay, there are a few other people that can't stay either.
Right.
And so for me, I remember how those things felt. And I'm a firm believer in you only need to be burned one time by the iron to know that it's hot. There are
Yes.
some instances where you will find yourself, and people genuinely are sincere. And so you will be like, you know what, I can give you another chance. But it's very rare that you don't get burned again. And for me, I think I've seen a lot and I've experienced a lot. And I think in certain instances, I saw and experienced a lot too soon. And so those things, because I remember how badly they hurt, or I remember the cost of those experiences, those are things that I just don't want to experience again. So the moment that I see those characteristics, those traits, those qualities in a person, I separate myself. If I'm in a scenario or if I'm in a space and the energy just doesn't align, or if the energy feels stale, or if it feels forced, I remove myself from those situations. Because anything that's really for you, any where you're supposed to be, it's not gonna be forced. You're not
Yes.
gonna have to do a whole lot of jumping through hurdles and doing
Right.
backflips just to get to it. It'll naturally happen because it's supposed to. You won't
Yes.
be having to force anything. And where I am in life at this point, I'm not about forcing anything. I'm not about forcing anything. If it has to be forced, let's not do it at all.
Absolutely. And
And I'm not about
yes.
convincing anybody of anything either. You believe what you want to believe.
Right.
I'm at peace. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, you just said a word, DJ. You just said a word.
And
Yeah,
the doors of the church are open.
and hallelujah.
Okay.
You know, and also you have to just be okay with being okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel
But
like
that's part of doing the work. And so when we talk about the work, a lot of people have not even begun to acknowledge that they have a lot of work to do. For me, it was that situation that I was like, let me get me a therapist. Let me go talk to somebody, because clearly this ain't right and this keeps happening. And my therapist is a black mother. She's a strong black woman. And the first thing she said was, why are you here? And I'm like, well, I'm here because I'm in this relationship and da 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 da. And this is happening and I'm not doing anything, but this keeps happening. And she's like, mm-mm. She's like, we got our work cut out for us. She's like, first of all, do you even know what accountability is? And I'm like,
mm,
no, what's that? And she's like,
mm,
okay, yeah, we definitely got our work cut out for you. For you, because you got to figure out what that is. You got to figure out what that means, and you got to stand in that. And having to stand in it, as I said earlier, it's an uncomfortable thing. It's an uncomfortable thing. Having to stand in your stuff, and don't ever let it be a situation where God has to sit you down and you are forced to sit in it.
whew.
You know what I mean? Like those two things, like, no, no. Mm-mm. I don't want to go through that again. I'd rather just let me sit in my stuff while it's here. Let me deal with it. Let me sort through it, organize it, whatever. Let's dissipate it, dissolve it. We're going to move on, versus allowing life to happen to you. And then you're forced to sit down and you're forced to deal with all of this stuff, not just the stuff that you initially could have resolved, but you got a whole bunch of other stuff that you've done that you got to take accountability for. And that prolongs your process. And that's
Mm,
what a lot of people are going to experience in just a second if they don't get their stuff together. If you don't, you better leave people alone. You better leave people alone. You better tune into what you got going on. You can't be sweeping around everybody's front door and you got
mm,
poop and garbage and dust and
all
all
kind
kinds of
of,
stuff on your
mhm.
front lawn. You got to focus on that first, babe.
Yes.
So for me, that was
Yeah,
my thing. It was
that's
like,
it.
let me take a step
Yeah.
back. Let me take a step back. Let me assess my situation. Let me clear out some people, clear out some things, and we're gonna be good. And so that's how all of these experiences tied into the making of what this album is.
And I appreciate that. So we got we got basically a master class on how to be able to navigate through this body of work that DJ just presented to us. So please make sure you pick up A Soul Without a Heart. The link is in the description box on how to go about this experience. All streaming platforms. The link is in the description box. So thank you so much, DJ, for kind of helping us, kind of guide it, because that was kind of a guide. That's kind of like, what is that? The preface, the preface, the preface
Mhm.
of what to explore in this album. So I do appreciate that.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So now I love to start in the beginning, and I love to hear the backstories. You know what, I have a feeling that you have us a backstory to tell. So I'm looking forward to this. So I love to start from the beginning of what DJ the Singer or Mr. Rambo is. So yes,
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Rambo. Yes, I know your government. I said it. I said it.
Listen, it's all right. Everybody know.
So I want to start from where you're born and raised, two-parent household, single-parent household, cousins, siblings. Was it more humble beginnings or more well-to-do beginnings? So sometimes you had the lemon fresh joyous bubble bath, or maybe you had regular bubble bath that you use, or maybe you had some bologna sandwiches, or maybe you had some tea and crumpets, or maybe you was getting in the gated community, or maybe you just had one of those project doors that didn't open all the time, or you had the elevators that didn't work, or piss in the staircase, or you just had the nice landscape and you grew up in a more well-to-do space. So I'm just kind of give you the little foundation here to work with. But
Yeah.
I want you to give me some childhood memories. I want you to give me some takeaways you got from your childhood. I want to get all of that. I want to get whether you had hopscotch back in the day. Did you play double dutch? Did you go in the city pool? I
Oh
want
my
to get all
lamb.
of that. Did you have free lunch? Like, just give me all that, DJ.
So first of all, let me say I grew up in a two-parent household with two parents who wanted me and adored me and my brother. Okay.
She said you
And
were
I have to put emphasis on that
I
because
was planned.
no, I have to put emphasis on that. And I say that because so people first of all, when you're reading people, people will say anything, right?
Yes, yes.
And for some people, it is a read when you just like, well, that's why your mama don't love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
you really go home and think about that, and you really sit and think about that, your parents are really and truly the first two examples of what
Yeah,
human experience is.
supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, and your mother is supposed to be your first love. And I know people right now who literally are just like, my mother hates me, my mother is jealous of me, my mother never
Yes,
liked me, my
yes,
mother pimped me out when I was
yes,
X
yes.
amount of, you know what I'm saying? And so when I look at my situation, I just told my mom this the other day, like, I thank you because I gave you a hard time for a short time, but I gave you a hard time. Sorry, somebody was trying to
I
call
get a
me.
phone
It's
call. Oh,
because you were
yeah.
trying to save my life. And they know I'm in an interview. But it was because you were trying to save my life. You were trying to make sure that I got to certain points in life because I know people that I grew up with, they didn't even make it to 18. And to me
Yes.
now at 36, like that's the blessing in it. So just a little backstory. Grew up in a two-parent household. My dad worked for the University of Georgia at the time. My
Mm,
mom was a school teacher, eventually became an assistant principal.
wow.
She was the minister of music at my home church. My dad was started out as a deacon, eventually became a pastor. My
Oh, I love
grandmother
this.
was the
Oh,
choir director.
I love this already. Wonderful.
So church was like church. You were going to church. That was a non-negotiable. You were going to church and you were going to college. Those were the two. And from as early as two, I remember running around the house singing. I remember
Hmm.
my mom was the gospel person, so I didn't really know my mom to play R&B, but my mom was big into Daryl Coley, the Clark
Ah,
sisters, Mississippi
ah,
Mass, Kurt
mm,
Franklin. We would always listen to Kurt Franklin on the way to school. My dad was more into the secular world. My dad used to play behind Parliament Funkadelic.
mm.
But my dad also was a trumpet and a saxophone player. My mom, like I said, plays keys and she's a singer. My dad's a singer. And so I got,
Oh, yeah.
like I said,
Oh, okay. You was born with this. Okay. Makes sense.
yeah, like I got the best of all the worlds. Like I
Yeah,
got
yeah. It
Elton
makes so
John, I
much
got
sense.
yeah, I got Elton
Absolutely.
John, I
Yes.
got Parliament, I got
Yes.
Spyro Gyra, I got do you
Wow.
remember what's the group? Oh my god. Do you remember the Ohio players?
Yeah, oh,
Like that
yeah.
was a whole like that whole era was just such a
I
vibe,
love
which is why
it.
I'm stuck in like 60s, 70s, 80s, and
Oh, I
early
can't
90s
wait till we
and
do the segment
yeah.
later. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Oh, yes. I can't wait. Okay.
So my mom, when I wasn't riding to school with her, I was riding the bus. Like I definitely lived in a black neighborhood, but I had cousins that lived in the hood. So I definitely got the best of both worlds. My mom did not want me in the projects, but my daddy was more like, just be careful. If something happens, call me. You go to the corner store, you get, a bag of Lay's potato chips for $25. I mean, for 25 cents. This was 30. Right, no, for 25 cents. This is during the
Yes,
era where gas was
yes,
89 cents. And
yes.
so like this was
Those were
a
the
good
days.
time.
Yes.
Yes, and I remember being in church. My dad, like I said, my dad was a singer, so that was part of the reason why I wanted to sing. But I also remember watching Whitney Houston and Luther Vandross and Stevie, and I was like, oh my gosh, like the way they sing, like it's so effortless. I want to do
Yes.
it too.
Yes. Amazing.
And you're sitting at your birthday party, and my grandma, who is also a preacher, is like, I'm gonna teach you this song, and I want you to sing it. And I'm like, okay, out.
What
You're
was it?
trying.
What song was it?
Lord, I know I've been changed,
Can you give,
and
give us give it real quick? Give a snippet of that, DJ.
I know I've been changed. So that's just a piece of it because it's Sunday, for people that did not go. And I
Shout
didn't
out to
sing it
the
that way then.
Pacers. Shout out to the
But
Pacers. Yeah.
that's how we started. That's how I started singing. And my parents were really big into education. They were always like, you can sing at any point in your life. But you got to go to school. You got to go get an education. You got to go to college. You got to finish. And at the time, as a lot of this generation will tell you, at that time we were told, you go to school, you
Yeah.
graduate, you get a car, you get a job. Well, you get a job, you get a car, you get a house, and then you get married, and then you
The
have
American
kids, and then you
Dream. Yeah.
retire. There's an order,
Yeah.
but as we can see, that's not
That's always
you
the
know
case.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's not always the case. So for me, education was I was always an AB student. My parents didn't play that. Like I said, my mom worked at the school that I went
Oh,
to all the
right.
way up until sixth
Yeah, no.
grade. Yeah, and then like I said, my dad used to teach school, so middle school and high school, all of my teachers, for the most part, if they were not friends of the family, they were my mom's sorority sisters, my dad's frat brothers, they
Yes,
were
you
my
got all
dad's
that around
best boys.
you.
Yeah, they were
Wow.
former
Yeah.
co-workers of my parents. They knew my parents. And so really and truly
But you didn't
growing
feel the
up
pressure. I
in
know you felt the pressure, DJ.
oh God, I felt the
Yeah.
pressure until my freshman year of college. And
Yeah,
that's
I can
when
imagine. We'll
it
get
went
into that
left.
more, but I know it has to be a lot of pressure right there.
Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But I will say it just growing up in Clark County, I could not do anything. I felt like I couldn't do anything because it was like at every block somebody was watching. And my parents knew. I'll never forget I got into it in high school, my freshman year. I almost got into a fight over somebody that was not even interested in me or the person I was about to get in a fight with. But we were in a math class. Mind you, this math teacher is a childhood friend of my uncle and my aunt. She is now my mom's current boss. My mom got an email and I came home and she was like, well, how was school? I was like, it was fine. And she's like, you got any homework? I was like, I did it already. Typical stuff, typical teenage stuff. And she's like, so would you care to explain to me about this little squabble that you had in so and
Mhm.
so's class? And I'm like,
Like she
here
not
we
going
go.
to find out.
It's always the thing. So I tried my best not to really get into any real trouble. And I didn't until freshman year of college, went off to school, and they were like, you gotta go to class. I was like, class? Who wants to do
What's
that? Like,
that?
girl, pass me a bottle. Pass that bottle of gin. Pass that bottle of Everclear. We finna get drunk at before 12, and then we finna chill out because tonight we got to go to the club. And we would be in the club all night until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Go to Arby's and then go to class.
Uh,
And my
yeah,
grades reflected it. So I
he was
definitely didn't.
rebelling.
I didn't give my parents that hard of a time, but I definitely music was always at the centerfold of everything. That was
Yes,
what I was supposed to do. And my parents were like, I don't know what else to tell him. Like, he needs to get a
right.
real job. They would have people come over and talk to me like he needs to get a real job. Like he needs to get a real thing.
In
This
the
is not
meantime,
real.
mhm,
But I understand now why it
mhm.
wasn't real because you hadn't seen it. It
Oh,
didn't become
mm,
real for a lot of my family that you actually can make a living doing music until I started doing backgrounds for Kelly Price. And that's when they started doing the deep dive into everything else that I was doing. And it was like, oh, so this is really a thing.
this is a,
Yes.
yes, it's real. It's real.
Yeah, it's real. And so I'll tell anybody, regardless of what it is, I don't care if you're writing a book, if you want to be the first one in your college in your family to go to college, whatever it is, if it's real to you, then it's real. You just
Mm-mm.
have to make other people believe it.
Absolutely. That's the word. You know, you just been preaching now. You've been preaching today.
No,
I'm
listen, when I tell
still,
you,
I'm still
I'm
in
not
church.
even
I'm
to
still
preach
in
to
church.
nobody, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I have lived some stuff in I'm
Yes.
nobody's granddaddy, but I have definitely lived and seen some stuff in these 36 years of life that I could tell somebody like, hey, do this or hey, don't do that. So
Yeah, but absolutely. But I mean, because we all can learn from each other. I mean, each one teach one. So that's how I feel about that. But I want to go back a little bit, DJ, because I like to hear about the elementary, junior high school phase, because that's
yeah.
a pivotal time in everyone's life that we don't talk about. And I like to hear the stories that I receive. You know, as I always talk about how in elementary, junior high school, that's a level of self discovery when it comes to exploring your anatomy. You're going through puberty. You know, you may have some acne. You're developing your social skills. You're humping in the staircase.
Well, I wasn't
You're
doing
getting
that.
into
Let's
the
be
part.
very clear.
You know, but you know, like I said, it's a part of it may or may not. I was like saying it. You know, I like to put it out there. You know, but so what was that experience like with junior high, elementary, and junior high? And I know that did you? I know you started owning your crafting at that time with the music.
So what's
Yours?
funny, I'm gonna say this. What I'm about to tell you, what my grade school experience, y'all are not gonna believe what my grade school experience was because I have this huge personality, but I really was not that person then.
You were shy.
I was very shy. I did not have many friends. Like I remember being
I can
in
believe it.
elementary school, like being by myself during recess. Like the boys would be playing basketball, the girls be over here jumping rope. My mom did not want me hanging around a whole bunch of girls, but they were the ones that were trying to be my friends. They were actually nice to me, whereas I was being severely bullied by
Mhm.
these guys. And
Mhm.
granted, you being a kid and you just like they be like, oh, we want to play football. You don't want to play football. Your favorite color is pink. You like Pokemon, and you have a Lion King lunchbox. Like I'm a kid. Like I really was a kid. So when we talk about like humping in the stairwell, like I didn't do that. Like I'm a change the tone real quick, but then we gonna brighten it right back up.
Sure. Yeah.
As somebody who was taken advantage of at
Okay.
15,
Yeah.
that opportunity to have my say was robbed from me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
sorry.
so no, it's okay, things happen, but I will say that is a very serious thing. And if your child, I don't care who it is, because in my
Yes.
experience, nobody
Mhm.
believed me.
Yeah.
So if
Oh,
somebody
that's the
comes and
worst.
says to
That's
you,
worse.
you know what I'm saying?
No,
So like if
it's worse
somebody
that
comes
you
and tells you
talk.
that
You
somebody
can't
touched
believe
them,
you. Yeah. I know.
believe your child. Some
Yes.
some kids will lie about it, but the majority are not making
No,
that
they're
up.
not. No.
But I was severely bullied in school. I was severely bullied in school, and I think what saved me was the fact that I actually could sing. Why am I getting emotional about this? But yes, like
That's what
I really
do
could
that.
sing.
Do
I
that.
think because I'm so passionate about this type of stuff, like I'm so passionate about the kids and just like I would never. I some of the stuff I see in the news now, I literally just I have to put the phone down because I'm like, but yes, I think that's what saved me. Just the fact that I was able to sing in grade school because that's what the people wanted to hear. We'd be on the playground, I'm playing by myself, but they'd be like, "Come over here, sing this song." And at the time, the song that was popular was I believe I can fly by R. Kelly.
Mhm.
And so like they want me to sing that. If it wasn't that, middle school, the song everybody wanted me to sing was Can't Give Up Now. And I went to a totally different middle school than the
Mm.
kids I went to elementary school with. By that point, they were doing zoning, so those kids went to school on the east side. I went to school on the west side, to the school that was right up the street from me. So a lot of the people did not know. My close friends knew because I'm still a little shy. I hadn't come into myself yet, so I'm still shy, still being bullied through middle school. Just trying to find my lane. And eighth grade hit, and we were at recess. We were getting ready to graduate, and we were on the playground. Somebody asked me to sing something. I think, like I said, "Can't Give Up Now" by Mary Mary or something like that. We're singing on the playground, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, like you can sing!" And they're like, "You've been sitting on this whole time." The whole time. What's the movie Mrs. Doubtfire? The whole time. So that's how we came into that. High school was a little different. High school was definitely
What
uh
high school did
uh
you go to?
discovery. I went to Clark Central High School.
Mm.
Um I said I wasn't gonna bring her up. But if you're familiar with she's been on Wild and Out. She was King Magazine's web girl back in like 2000 and I believe, 2009, 2010. I went to school with Shanika Adams, like, the people. The Migos, like they used to be
Oh,
around us
okay.
when we were kids. So like though,
Okay.
like we hung around them. We'd be at Bishop Park on a Sunday. Like that was the vibe. And so even in high school, so little backstory, because church was paramount, my parents would censor what we would listen to. Funny story, when Kaya's My Neck, My Back came out, never forget, it would come on the radio, My Neck, My Back. Before she could even get to the lick, my mama would cut that radio off and be like, no, not my child. Even Britney Spears, like I was such a Britney Spears fan, and my dad would be like, I don't know, this is a little risque, So high school hit, and that's when, this is during the era of like mixed CDs, and you call your friend, and for $5 they'll go and burn you a CD, download the music, whatever, whatever.
Yes, yes. God, thanks a lot for aging me, DJ.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes. It was such a good time, such a good time. And I started getting into like not just what was current, but like what was hot in the early 90s. So like I'm discovering Destiny's Child, I'm discovering the writings on the wall and like the
Yes,
deep cuts. I'm
that's
discovering,
that's some good stuff.
Janet
Good stuff.
Jackson's Control.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
discovering Mary J. Blige. I'm discovering Usher. And so this is when we get into the musicality of how I started building my musical ear. I was in the band, I was in the orchestra. I played violin, I played the trumpet. I went out to be a cheerleader. I did not make it
Wow.
because
Oh, in high school?
in high school and in college, I did not make it because I was not getting up there doing no backflips and I could not dance. And so there you have it. What else? I'm trying to think. I was in the chorus.
Yes.
I was in
Yeah.
every any
Oh,
choir you
okay.
could think of. I was in it.
Wow,
I made
that's
it to all
amazing.
state. Like I was really doing the things because
How
I was
did you
like, when I
manage? How did you juggle that between your creative and academia? How did you balance that? Because your parents don't play.
so here's how I juggled my academics. I got in trouble freshman year. This is during the era where like MySpace wasn't even a conversation in. Black Planet was the
Ooh,
paramount social
Black
media
Planet.
platform.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
when you had to use HTML to
yeah.
design your page and whatever. And I remember I had gotten in trouble for being in those chat rooms on
You
AOL and
ah,
Yahoo Messenger. And
yes, yes.
I came home from summer school. I had to go to summer school that year because I failed Algebra 1. I was already struggling in pre-algebra, but Algebra 1 hit and it tanked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll never forget. I don't remember his name. Yes, I do. I don't remember his last name. His first name is Ira. But he was the sheriff at the time, and I'll never forget. He came to our house to talk to me about being in these chat rooms and whatever.
Why?
And then
Why was he talking to you about that?
I was being grown. I was being at 14. I was
Oh,
being
14.
grown.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was being grown. Now that's not how I got taken advantage of. That's a whole different conversation. But I was being grown in these chat rooms on Black Planet. This is when you could get the telephone numbers out of the back of like the Source magazine or out of the back of Double XL, and you could call the chat line. And oh
Yes,
my gosh, listen, you be talking to
yes.
everybody.
Yeah,
You be
you
talking
bring
to everybody.
this, DJ. This is what when I want people when I people to bring up these backstories. This is what I'm talking about. This nostalgic stuff. I'm loving it. Go ahead. This is what I'm talking
Oh
about.
my lamb, this was such
This
a
is what I
time.
want to hear.
Yes,
Yes.
this was such a time. And I remember him saying to me, he said, if you don't remember anything that I tell you in this conversation, I want you to know that whatever you do your freshman year of high school, that is going to set the tone for the remainder of your of the remainder of your high school career. And even some of those characteristics and habits will transfer over into your collegiate career. And when I tell you that scared me, because I didn't want to be a second year senior. I didn't want to do like I think that was
Right.
everybody's fear
Right.
at that time. Is like being a second year senior. It's like all your friends have graduated and you got to come back. Like I didn't want that for my life. So I was like, let me just do what I got to do. You know, whatever I want to do outside of school, like it will be there. But let's finish. And my junior year, the summer of my junior year, getting ready to go into my senior year of high school, I started interning at this radio station. And They gave me this early morning gospel show. Like I had to be at the radio station like at 3 in the morning, and I would be there from like 3 to 9, just enough time for me to go home, wash my
Mm-hmm.
tail, and put on my clothes so I could be in church for Sunday school, and then we can go to devotion and the rest of service. So like I really was out
You
there,
know,
but that's why I got in
program
my gospel
early in
bag.
the morning, like wee hours of the morning, crack of dawn. They always had to do it. They always do that.
But you know what? I will tell you, I developed a love for broadcasting. I think that's why I love doing like podcasts and YouTube now. Because at the time, YouTube wasn't the thing. Like YouTube didn't come until probably the year after. But that's where you started to really get into, like I said, the bag of MySpace, and you're, seeing all of these different social media platforms, Bebo, High School Club, like you had the things at the time, and it was like the quality of life was a lot different. It was a lot
It
different.
was, yes, yes.
um let's see. All right, what happened after that? All right, now I'm like I said, I'm bouncing around towards the events, but I graduated in the top 25% of my high school class, so that happened.
Nice.
And I was not focused on going to school. I was focused on being famous. I was like, when I graduate from high school, I'm gonna go to New York, and I'm gonna be famous. Like I'm gonna have this illustrious music
I was
career,
just like that. You just decided,
just
oh,
like that. Like
it,
I'm gonna run into Jimmy Iovine and Ron
yes.
Fair, and they're gonna sign me, and I'm gonna be the next thing, the next hot thing since Keisha Cole. And that was all it was. It was written. It was gonna happen. Well, like I said, that summer was when I really started to give my parents pushback,
Yeah, yeah, but
because like I
I'm
said,
surprised you go straight to college from there because there's always that pressure, like you said. High school, college. I'm surprised. So your parents didn't give you that amount of pressure, or you just was like you said that.
oh, so let me add this in here, and I'm gonna add on to the pressure that it was. I am the first child, the first grandchild on both sides.
Get
I
out.
am the first nephew on both sides. I am the first everything. And so being that child where everybody's so invested and involved, and everybody's got an opinion, everybody's like, well, this is what I think you need to do. I think you
Oh
need to go,
yeah.
I
Mhm.
think you need to go into the military because you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have any structure. Yeah, I think you need to go over here because this is where the family went, or you need to go here because we know people over there. And
But
I was just like,
but it's not about what you want.
but what about me?
Yeah, yeah.
What about what I need? What about me? Come on, Effie. But
Left,
what
right.
about me?
Yeah.
And so I decided that I was just going to be this rebel child. I got
Yes.
engaged. That there was someone I was dating when I was but my senior year of high school.
But
Like,
before we get to that, DJ, pause right there. Bookmark
mhm.
that because I want to talk briefly, and I don't want to dwell on this too much because I don't want
No, no,
to.
no. We just got to get to the main points. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, but I don't want us to revisit this too much. But I just want to get into how you was able to cope with, you know, being taken advantage of, and how that 'cause you said for one, it was traumatizing enough that you experienced it. Number two, it's even worse that one believed you, and three, how were you able to cope with that moving forward? How did that even did that affect your approach towards moving forward from high school?
So I'm gonna say this: the incident that happened at 15 and the incident that happened at 18, both instances were situations that were out of my control. Um, and they were both situations where I was not believed.
Mhm.
And in both situations, I did not fully heal or even talk about until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It
Mm.
was finally when had a sit down conversation with my mom, and we talked about everything. I think I kind of blew her mind that day because she didn't know about that. She didn't know about my domestic abuse. She did not know that at 10 I was almost sex trafficked. Like, I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, but she didn't know any of those
Oh
things.
God.
And
Mm.
so having to reveal those things and finally talk about those things were not only freeing for me, but I even received some apologies on her end because she was just like, maybe I protected you too much. Maybe I should have just let you be in certain spaces or be with certain people, or maybe I should have just, maybe I just should have trusted that my child knew better in certain spaces, and maybe some of these things wouldn't have happened. Maybe you wouldn't have the outlook that you do when it comes down to preachers, or when it comes to certain people.
Right.
Maybe your view or your experience wouldn't have been tainted by these things. So it definitely was a healing thing, and I hope that anybody that has found themselves in those types of scenarios, I really do hope that those people can find some
Yes.
form of healing and some type of resolve for those things, because those are not easy things to talk about, especially as a man, a black man living in America, especially in this society. Those are not easy things to talk about. um
Absolutely.
and so, yeah, definitely with some therapy, definitely with some open and honest conversations that made other people uncomfortable. It is what it is.
Of
We
course.
got to start taking up the turf. That's what I call it. We got to start taking up the turf. We got family secrets. Like I said, I didn't know that my granddaddy wasn't my biological granddaddy until after my daddy was deceased. I was like,
Mm.
"What do you mean?" And they were like, "Yeah, your daddy's daddy is your cousin, by the way." Whoa, you know what I mean? So
Bombshell.
it's
Yeah, bombshell. Right. Right.
bombshell, and those things were happening during the 50s, the 40s and 50s. Like those,
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah,
commonplace.
yeah.
That was commonplace. So, like I said, these are things that I've just had to overcome and just kind of just be honest about. But we got to pull up the turf. We got to pull up the turf. In order for real healing to happen, you got to take the band-aid off. You got to pull up the turf. You might have
Yes.
to break up some concrete. It is what it is. And anybody that wants to keep it a secret, they are just as complicit as the person that
Yeah,
caused it.
that's the problem right there. And so
Yeah.
how did you come to the into the space to forgive? Because that's hard. I mean, I understand forgiveness was for you more so, and that's part of the healing journey, but how did you come around to having the reconciliation process with your mom? Because I don't know if I would be able to, honestly. I
Well,
can
she didn't
forgive,
know.
not forget. I can forgive, but the idea of my mom not believing me, or not even trying to protect me, or trying to yeah, or
I'll
comfort
say
me.
this: my
Yeah.
mom was not the one that didn't believe me.
Oh, okay. I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
say that my mom
Oh,
was not the
oh, I'm
one that
sorry.
didn't believe
I'm
me.
sorry, mother. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no, no, no. You're fine, because I didn't specify that. So my mom was not the one that didn't believe me. My mom was the one who initially was like, "Well, let's go get you checked out. Let's go talk to who we need to talk to. Let's go file a police report." She did all the right things,
Yeah, I was
but
going
I
to ask
don't
about that.
think.
When they punish. Oh, God, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I'm gonna say this, like, and I will say this, just not because I'm not a parent, right? But as what I will say, just from the outside looking in, I can only imagine. We talk about pressure as individuals. I can only imagine what parents carry, because not only do you have your own life experience, but you're responsible for this other person,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you don't have the answers. Sometimes parents have a visual of what their child is going to be like when they hit a certain point. And when that child doesn't hit those marks, or when the parents are like, no, everybody in the family is an educator, and then you come out talking about, I'm going to be in
You'll
the
be a
entertainment industry,
musician.
it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what are we talking about here? No, like,
Yes, the
you're
grain.
going the wrong way. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
going over here. I can only imagine the level of anxiety that the parents that parents go through. So as my mother, I will say I think she did the best she could with what she knew at that time. I don't think that first of all, I don't think that my mother knew or expected to have a child that is as colorful, as eccentric, as direct and raw as I am. I just don't think so. But at the same time, I also don't think that she knew she had all of the tools. She did the best she could with what she had and with what she
Right.
knew based on her
Mm-hmm.
own experience and her own research.
Right.
So in that moment, that was what it was, and it was just kind of something that was swept under the rug until I was ready to talk about it. Much like me going off to school and being attacked by a football player. We sued the
Mm-hmm.
school. They tried to sweep it under the rug. I even tried to, more recently, matter of fact, around Christmas, because I was going to talk about it on my YouTube channel. I was going to do a story time, tell the whole story. Like, the school swept it under the rug. Like, they offered to give me a full ride, along with a bunch of other stuff too,
Buy you off, pay you off. Mm-hmm.
to pay me off while they let their star football player
And
go
not
to the
because that's what
NFL.
matters. Yeah.
And now, even to this day, while I'm in a very blissful and happy place. I've done a lot of healing, I've matured, but there is still a streak of pettiness in me. And
Oh,
part of me, because the guy that attacked me now owns a gym here, and so part of me wants to go to the gym and just be like,
so
do I
you
look
know he
familiar to you?
is.
I know exactly who he is. I know exactly who he is. That man is a married man with 3 sons.
And you thought about confronting him? I mean,
I thought about a few things. I thought about going to the gym. I thought about writing him a letter and just saying, like, you thought that you broke me, but you didn't. You
mm,
didn't. I don't even know you. To this day, I don't even know you.
what did your
But
therapist say about that? You talk about this to your therapist?
oh yeah, we've talked about this. We've it was a whole thing. Like, I didn't, in that moment, if there's ever a point in time that I regret anything, I think I regret that. And I think I regret it because South Carolina, number one, is behind socially. They're just behind. And they're very religious. They're more religious than they are spiritual. They believe in what they believe in, and that's what it is. And you're not gonna flip that.
Hmm.
Me being who I was at that time, let me paint a visual. I'm 150 pounds wet, right? I am eccentric as I don't know what. Like, what's his name from Drew
Flamboyant.
Hill?
Mm-hmm.
What's the guy from Drew Hill?
Cisco?
Angie Martinez, baby daddy.
Oh, Nico.
Nokio.
Oh, Nico. Nokio.
Nokia. So
Nokio.
Nokia's really centric too. Like, he does the
Yeah,
pieces, the
yeah.
multicolor hair. Like, that was me. Like, one day my hair would be green and it'd be in a mohawk. The next minute I'd be bald. The next minute I'd be coming up with a pink fade, and then next thing you know, we're back blue again. And I had piercings everywhere that you could think of. Had a tongue piercing, nose piercing, tattoos. Like, I was outside. I literally was doing it, and I sang R&B. So and I was known at all the parties. Like, I would drink gin, like I ain't have no liquor. We drink
Yeah,
Everclear.
what's
Like I
with you
said,
and gin? I mean, what gin? What you doing
listen,
drinking gin?
at in my late teens, early 20s, I was lit. When I tell you, I was such a vibe. Like, that's probably why I'm in the house now. Like, cause I've already been outside. Like, I
You
already
been,
know what
yeah,
time
you
it is.
been there, done that,
Been
right?
there, done that. Like, I was done by the time I was 23. And so and so, like, we did it. We had a run, baby. We were on tour. Like,
Oh, party
we
like
were
a rock.
having a time. And it was just a good time. And like I said, I wish I had said something, because I could have been that voice or that person that could have been the blockage for somebody else.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't say anything because I was so focused on, I want to do the music. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I don't need anything coming up. Whatever, 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 whatever. And then life happened, real life started happening, and then you start
Yes.
maturing and you start having other experiences, and then when you look
Hmm.
back and it's like, uh, F what the people are gonna say. They always gonna have something to say. And whether
Absolutely.
whether it's true or not, you lived it. It is what it is. There are people that are going to
Hmm.
love you. There are people that are going to accept you regardless of what your truth is. Stand in it. So, if there was anything, and I think that's why now when I see people being bullied or whatever the circumstance may be, I'll stand in, because
I
I'm
can't
not,
stand it. I can't
I
stand it.
can't stand it. But
Mm-mm.
at the same time, though, I'm also one to hold people accountable, because you can't be bullied and be the bully. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
That's not
doesn't
how
work.
it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't work, honey bunches of oats.
Because
You got
that's why
to,
I'm like, let me tell you what you
yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't work,
that's,
babe. Like, you
that's why
got
I
you got to pick
understand,
a
like,
struggle.
yeah, I don't like the idea of hurt people. Don't let that, no, no. Let's not hurt people heal. Well, how about that? How about healing?
And you know what? I'll
You
even go
know?
here. Hurt
Yeah.
people do hurt people. But now that you know that, what are
Yeah.
you willing to
What
do
you
to
do? What you
change it?
do differently? Change the cycle.
What are you doing
Yeah,
to rectify it? Because two
exactly.
wrongs are not going to make a
Right,
right.
right.
You're going to
You can't
cancel out each
project
other.
anybody else. You can't keep projecting onto people. No, because
You can't.
yeah, because you're not, because that's not part of the healing process. That's why
Yep.
you need healing. That's not part of the healing process, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So, but I really appreciate. I mean, so far, I just want to tell you, DiiJai, just we don't want to assert this because I really want to express my gratitude to you because this is a conversation that this is one of my top tier conversations so far, and I
Me
really
too.
do appreciate. No, I mean. No, because I'm not good at bullshitting. I really I can't. I mean, I'm just as genuine as it come. So I'm telling you right off the cuff here, DJ. I really do appreciate and I value your transparency. I
Thank you.
value the gems that you're giving. So I really want to appreciate. I would appreciate that. I want you to know. I really,
Thank you.
really appreciate that. Yeah. So now, but thank you, and also thank you for being transparent about your story. But I don't want to, I don't
No.
want to. Yeah, I
No,
don't
no,
want
we
to
can
turn
talk
that
about
off.
it because I will say
Yeah.
those things are in my music.
Okay.
This album is not the first one, but I will say in previous projects, these are some of the things that I have talked about, whether
Okay.
it has been solely directed at me or if I'm illustrating a story for someone else. Um or illustrating someone else's story. These things are in my music.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
it might not have always been what they say the popular sound or the popular thing to do. But I will say I look at people like Summer Walker, Duran Bernard, and the things that I was doing, like I said, in my early teens when I first started writing songs to even working on the first project for real. Like these are things that I was crucified for that these people are now being
Right.
celebrated for. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
exactly.
say I'm the one that carried the torch. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I'm the pioneer.
I
I'm
get
not
it.
gonna say
I get it.
that, but I definitely from the
You
very
innovated. I
beginning
mean, you
set
are one of
about
the
my life
innovators.
and was
Yeah.
very eccentric in doing so.
Yes. Yes. You're very innovative in that sense. I get it. Yeah. You can own that. I mean, no, it's not wrong with that at all. But I wanted to get more into because I know you mentioned about because I wanted to make sure I inserted that because I wanted to know how you cope your coping mechanism, and I also
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that the awareness was there for everyone else. So that's why I want to
Now
make sure that I put that in there.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this when we talk about coping. So the coping part, I had to learn healthy ways of coping. Let me say that because I think that part is
Healthy
important
ways.
to talk about
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Regardless of what your habit is, and I've done it all, literally all. Like we've done the hotel hopping, the bed hopping, we've done the drugs, we've drank the alcohol, we have tried to commit suicide a couple of times. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube for censorship, but like we've done it all. And one thing I've read, Jennifer Lewis has two books, Walking in My Joy and The Mother of Black Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that she talks about in both books, and one thing that she says in just about every interview, and I have lived it to know it to be true, you cannot run. You may have the money to
Yeah,
run.
she said
And
you are
there are people that have
super.
the money to run.
You
But
are
baby, you cannot run because the true you will meet you where you're
where you
trying
are.
to
Where
run
you are.
to.
You better preach. Yeah.
So there's
Mm-mm.
no point. There's no point in that.
Yeah.
Just sit in it. It's
Face it. You
uncomfortable,
gotta
but
face
it
it.
could
Yeah.
be worse. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I think that's why even now I really don't find myself complaining too much. And I think that's where part of my peace comes from. It's like I don't really I complain a little bit, but I don't really complain too much because when you look at other people's situations, I have the luxury of jumping in my vehicle that I pay for and going in anybody's drive-through that I want to, and I can pay for what I want. Whereas on my way home, I may see a homeless person or I may see a slew of homeless people underneath the interstate. And then I'll just pull my car over. I don't have much, but y'all figure this out amongst yourselves. Feed yourselves. And I will cry the rest of my way home. Not because I'm hungry,
Because you blessed.
but because I'm blessed and I know what that feels like. I've
Mm-hmm.
been there, done that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be there again. I don't want that experience again. And I don't want that experience for them, even if they are the reason why they are there.
True. True.
So, you can
Yeah.
run, but baby,
You
you
can't
will
lie. You
find
can't.
yourself
You
and the
can't.
problem.
Suppression equals oppression, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he said.
Yes,
Stop suppressing. Because it going to lead back to oppression. And you don't want to be oppressed with your own. You don't want to be, oppressed fighting yourself. You know what it is? No.
life is hard enough
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
Why are you a prisoner to your
Yeah.
stuff?
For what?
The keys are sitting
What
right
kind of
there.
life is there? You know what? I mean, what is the point in that? What is the point of that?
The
Yeah, so
keys
I
are
thank
over
you for
there.
that.
You can leave whenever you get ready.
Yeah, yeah,
Why not now?
absolutely. Why not? hmm
Why
Yeah, but
now?
I want to dig deep into because I know you said that you went from high school. Did you go straight from high school to New York? Like,
I
like
went straight from high school. Okay, so here's the
give us
backstory.
yeah,
So I
give
was a
us give
teenage
us some
runaway.
story.
Was
Give us
teenage
some
runaway because
yes,
everybody's trying to run my life. Everybody's trying to tell me what I need to
yes,
do. I got accepted at Clark Atlanta and South Carolina State University at the same time. Being that my
Mhm.
mother is an alumni of Clark, I was like, you know what? Let me leverage this. Here's my negotiation. I want to be in the city. I want to be around the music. I want to do the music. All right, cool. So this is what we gonna do. Y'all let me go to Clark Atlanta. Let me go to Clark Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. I'm right up the road in case you need to get to me. I can do my music, but I also do school. Uncle Marvin is right around the
That
corner. You know, if he
sounds
need to come see
hey,
about me, you know, we
that sounds like a
good.
good negotiation to me. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I
That's
got
compromise.
family.
Yeah,
We here.
yeah.
It makes no sense to send me to South Carolina because y'all don't know nobody, and neither do I. And so it's no point in sending me to this strange place. My parents were not trying to hear it. My daddy was like,
What?
it's either the
They weren't willing to
military or South
compromise.
Carolina State.
They weren't willing to compromise at
They
all.
were not willing to
Even though you
compromise
said you, even though you were
because there
schooling
was
it.
a person that I was dating at the time that they were not fans of at all.
Oh,
And
okay.
they were like, we need to get you out of the state of Georgia because we need to get you from around this person. That was the focus.
Oh, no, it was about you.
It wasn't about me. It was about this other person. And so I tell the story about how I was working overnight at Target, and over the course of a month, I had packed up all of my stuff and moved it into this person's house. Like I was on the move because I was determined I was not going to SC State. I got engaged, was a teenage runaway. The police showed up at the house, pulled me out
Oh
the
my
dryer.
goodness.
Like my
A,
parents already had my stuff.
dryer. You
Baby,
said
I
after
was hiding in the
dryer.
dryer. I
What?
was
What?
not
What?
going.
What you said after dryer? Wait, whoa. You really, literally, you talking about literally like you try.
Like okay, so also at the time, let me also give you the visual. Like in person, like without shoes on, I'm 5'10". So like I was extremely small then. Like I was probably 130, like one I was somewhere in between
Okay.
that. I was in that 130 range. So and I was real flexible, so it was nothing for me to just fold myself up and get in the dryer. You know what I'm saying? So like look, what did Whoopi say
I
in
heard
Sister
you.
Act 2? Your teacher wants you to take off your robes. Everybody get in the dryer, like we're hiding out. And so
What were you hoping to accomplish? Like, what was your end game?
listen, I was like, if they find me in here, y'all better drag me to YDC, the Youth Detention Center, baby. I will sit there. Okay. Like I will sit there until my 18th birthday. I can sit 2 weeks. Whatever. Like I was
Oh
not going to
God.
SC State. Like I was like, I'm staying here with my person and we're gonna get engaged. Now, I will tell you, years later, I am grateful that we did not get married. And I am
Okay.
grateful that I did go to SC State because I did meet lifelong friends. And I'm talking about friends that I still talk to. I literally just talked to my former RA yesterday. He's like my
Wow.
brother. He's going to be in
Wow.
my wedding if I ever have one. Like he's literally here. He's forever a part of my life.
Nice. I
Like my
love it.
former
I
college
love it.
roommate was in the state. Well, we went to Chicago with Kelly. Like there were a couple of my college classmates that were sitting in the audience that came backstage, and I didn't even know they were back there. But they were just like, "Oh my god, like it's happened! Like you're finally famous." And I'm like, "No, I'm not famous yet, but thanks." You know, like these are lifelong friends. These people were there when my daddy died. They were there when I graduated from college. Like they were there, and so I met lifelong friends. I really grew as an artist. I was like I remember when President Obama came to our school. I remember seeing Brandy on campus. Like these are experiences that now granted I had my bad ones, but these are experiences I never would have had I not been there.
Like you
I
went to
remember
administration. Mhm.
an experience that me and the three girls that we got caught in the car doing it. Like, first of all, this experience lives rent free in my head. We still laugh about this to this day. Like, we had real fun. We took one of the golf carts from campus. We were doing a Here's why we were there. We were in the stairwell and we were doing this photo shoot around the time it was the no hate campaign. And so it was like everybody in white t-shirts or they were shirtless and they'd have their mouths taped or whatever and they'd be in the picture like woo, no hate, whatever, whatever.
I
Well,
remember that.
me
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right. Well, me at the time, I was working. I didn't do it long, but I worked as a stripper, and my name was Brown Blaze, and so I had body. Like
Mhm.
I was body down. Like I had ass, thighs, like chest, like we were in there, and I had a fade. I was doing the things. And at the time, I had these long sideburns, like wasn't nobody telling me nothing.
Side, long
Anyway,
side.
like back in the day, like that was the thing. Like you had to bring your sideburns to a point. And so, like, baby, them sideburns were sideburning, okay? They were burning. And
Oh,
we
Lord,
were
you missed. Keep going, DJ. Please keep going.
right. So I'm in this stairwell. We're taking these pictures, click, 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 and I am wrapped in electrical tape. So like it's not really a nude, it's an implied nude shoot, but I'm wrapped in electrical tape. And
Uh-huh.
so we take this go-kart to get back to our apartment because I stayed off campus my
Oh,
entire
okay.
collegiate experience. Like I did not
Okay.
have to stay in a dorm. And the one night that I did stay in a dorm, I'm glad I didn't because it felt like jail. Don't ask me how I know. Well, anyway, so Badu. So we stole this go-kart and I'm driving. So apparently I'm the one in the wrong. Driving through campus wrapped in this electrical tape with this blue hair, and you have Shayla, Tarja, Tiara in the back seat. Campus police pulls us over, and they're just like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just trying to get back to our apartment. Our friend had a little too much to drink, and we're just trying to get home." And he's like, "Let me see your ID." I'm like, "Mine or hers?" He's like, "I need to see hers." I'm like, "Well, she didn't have hers because she didn't bring her purse, but here's mine. I am a good driver. I'm authorized to drive any vehicle. This is my C level license, whatever." And he let us go. But he was just like, "Next time you decide to take a go kart, please put on some clothes." I was like, "Yes, sir." And when I tell you, we hauled ass back to that apartment, and we still cackle about it to this day.
That is a time. Oh my God.
Oh my God, it was such a good time. It was such a good time. I remember like we would go to the club, like I said, we would be drunk before we even got there. And you walk in the club and you would hear Kurt Franklin's Looking for You, Mary
In
Mary's
the
Get
club.
Up and
Oh,
Guided Me. And then we transitioned into the Baltimore club mix. Like that's where I got introduced to
yeah.
house music. Like I really had a good time. Like
Yes,
with the
yes.
exception of those one or two mishaps, like I said, there was an incident where where I was held at gunpoint on campus. Like we outside of those instances, like we had a ball. We really had
Wow.
real fun. That's why when I see like these people talk about, "Oh, we going to have fun," no, baby, we had fun. Y'all ain't having fun. Not the type of fun we were
I
having.
guess nah. And yeah, y'all can never. Y'all can never.
You
Yeah.
could never like, kids, please take me back because I didn't even
Was that
know
Clark
what a
Atlanta?
hot boy summer was.
And it was at Clark Atlanta. Did you
No,
go
this
there?
is I
Did you?
never made it to Clark. I went
Oh,
straight. So after they pulled me out of the dryer, my mom and her preacher friend were sitting outside on the lawn. Like it was literally like a square off. Like my mom was like, "I'm not leaving without my son." She put me in the back seat. We went and picked up my daddy and picked up my brother. All of my stuff was packed in the back of the car. We drove to Riverdale, and my mama dropped me off for 2 weeks until it was time for me to start school. They came and picked me up. We went to SC State. We did the registration, and they dropped me off at my apartment, my dorm,
right.
and they drove off. And then the next day I turned 18, and then that Monday was the first day of class. And so, I will say, funny story. Um, some chapters don't close so easily because my music appreciation professor ended up being a professor the following year at my former high school where my brother was a senior. And the moment he
That's
went down
just
that road,
wow.
that man had a bad experience with me. I showed
Talk
up to
about your
class
world
the
being
first day.
small. Like you got all these people like that. No, I mean just all these full circle moments you having. But go
It's
ahead.
all these full circle moments. And so
Yeah.
we show up. So this is where the professor and I got on bad terms. The first day of class, I was unaware that I was supposed to wear a suit. I did not read the syllabus. That's on me. I can
Mm.
read and I can read. But I did not read the syllabus. And I showed up to class with a white t-shirt, some SpongeBob pajamas, and some SpongeBob slippers.
Oh
And
my
my professor
god.
looked at me. He was
Oh
like,
my
"Whose class are you going to?" Mind
god.
you, this is a HBCU. He's like, "Whose class are you going to?" I was like, "I'm coming to your class. I'm present and accounted for." He's like, "No, you're not."
No,
He's
not in
like,
this one. Not in this class.
not
No.
not
Mm-mm.
dressed like this, and I ended up dropping the class. Well, he ends up being the band director at my brother's school. And
What?
so he goes down the roll and he calls my last name and he's like, "Rambo." He's like, "Any relation to so and so?" And he's like, "I am not my brother." And it went to hell from there because if y'all think that I am hell on ice skates, you have not met my sibling. When we get together, it's a wrap.
It's a
But
wrap.
that one right there, He took that man through the ringer.
You
And
just dropped the class just like that, though,
I just dropped the
DJ?
class because it was the beginning of the semester, so it wasn't going to affect my GPA
Reckless,
anyway.
just reckless, just
Just reckless, reckless and
look at you.
irresponsible, lawless
You
and
know?
rebellious.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit. Like, okay, so you finished there? No.
No, I did not finish. After the school tried to basically pay me off, I came back home and I enrolled in Athens Tech. I was in school to be a dentist for a minute, and then I changed my major again to nursing. But I was also working at a gas station, and I was saving my paychecks I was living at home, so I didn't have to pay any rent, thank God. But I was like, I
Yes.
have got to get out of here because once you've had that level of freedom at 18, 19, 20, you
Yeah.
don't want to
You
be
don't
under
want to go
anybody's rules. You
backwards.
want
You
to
don't
make
want to
your
go
own.
backwards. Right, right.
Yeah, so the following year, I dropped out of Athens Tech and I moved to Atlanta. I had a friend from
Oh,
Facebook.
here we go.
Had a friend.
Okay, so now it starts. Here we go.
Now it starts. So I had a friend from Facebook and he was like, I'm getting an apartment. I need roommates. Are you interested? I was like, hell yeah. Like I didn't know where we were staying, hadn't seen the apartment, nothing. He was like, I need this much for the deposit. No problem. Here you go. What else do you need
Just
from me?
like
You need to
that.
run my credit too? I ain't have no job, no car, no nothing. I was like, I'm gonna be in the city. And if I got to grind and hustle and struggle and sleep on a bench, which I eventually did, like I'm gonna do
Mm,
what I got to do. And so I moved to Atlanta and I was working for ADT, the security people.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I'll never forget the day that I announced that I was moving. It was We were at the Thanksgiving table, and my uncle was like, "So when you gonna move up to Atlanta?" And I said, "It's actually interesting that you mentioned that because I start work on Monday. I actually am moving to Atlanta tomorrow." And my mama
Mm-hmm.
dropped her fork and looked at me and was like, "Where you gonna stay? How you gonna live? What are you gonna
Right.
eat? Where you gonna sleep?" Like everybody was like, "Whoa!" So that whole thing. So I moved up to Atlanta. That was the year we had that big snowstorm, and I was like, "It snows here, like it's that
Right,
far away from
right.
home."
Mm,
And that's how I got into music. I met this guy, Jay Will and Diamond Kisan, who is still here. They were doing this open mic, sessions Atlanta is what they used to call it.
mm,
Dondria, or Fat Fat from YouTube, who eventually got picked up by So Def and Jermaine Dupri. She used to host it, so it was between her and Kiki Wyatt, and so that's kind of how I got introduced to the Atlanta music
right,
scene. And I would be running the streets with Keisha Cole's sister Elite and Carlicia Levert, Gerald Levert's daughter, and Paris
right,
Bennett from
right.
American Idol. Like we were all in the same
And the
circle,
click.
kind of
Mm,
just hitting up different gigs or
mm,
whatever. And that's how I got introduced to some of the people that were in the business.
nice.
And so when people were moving to LA, I was like, well, I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna just, kind of get my
Click away.
footing.
Mm,
There was a deal that was on the table with an independent label that was here. They were distributed through Sony. That was a conversation at one point. That deal did not go through because at 21 they wanted me to be 15, and I couldn't. I had had too much life experience by then.
was that airway
Um,
finish?
yeah, I'd had too much life experience by then. I also was in a relationship. This was my last for real, relationship. We lived together, first adult relationship for real. Um, and I learned a lot, but that relationship quickly ended. And then I went back to school. I went back to school and I went to Georgia State. And I did 2 years at Georgia State. I changed my major again, and I was a journalism major
Okay.
and took another break. And this break was a lot longer because real life started
Life be
happening.
life, yeah.
Yeah, life was life. And like
You
by
got
this point,
bills.
yeah, by this point, like I had fallen in love again. I had started working on this album. My dad was getting sicker because at the time my dad was fighting liver cancer. So
Mm,
my dad was
mm,
getting sicker. And so like
mm.
life was happening. And so, like I said, you're changing jobs, you're moving, you got people coming in and out of your life. You got all of these different things happening. It would have been great television. But it was like, all right, your dad passes, And then, well, your grandmother passes, his mom, and then your dad passes, and then it's like, okay, now I'm working overnight security at a sex club, but I'm also, a stripper again. I'm also a stripper again, and then I got me a job working at Grady. And so it's all of these
All
things
these
that I
things.
just trying to find my way,
Yes.
just trying to find my way.
How did you find the
And
time? You said you 36 or 86. I mean, damn, how do you find
listen, I have, honey. Listen, when I tell you I'm a fairy, I have lived a long time. I'm a lot
Yes,
older than y'all
yes.
think,
City
okay?
lives, city lives.
Okay,
Yeah.
I am halfway to 500. So, we're
Yeah,
lit.
yeah.
And
DJ was Joan of Arc in his former life. Okay.
listen, in a former life, I am, all jokes aside, in a former life, I believe I have done many things. I've done great things.
Yes.
I was probably building pyramids and freeing the slaves. I don't know. I was
Break in
doing
the
a lot.
water. Yes.
I was doing a lot. And 2017 is when I really got back into the music scene because I had kind of taken a step back. Like I said, going back to school,
That's
got in
right.
these situations with these people. And I was like, you know what? Let me really make this a thing. I put out a record in 2013 and I was like, all right, let's really jump back out here and do this for real, for real. And so that's when I started meeting all these different people. Like they would put me on a show here and I wouldn't know until the day of that we're honoring Selena Johnson, or I'm opening up for Kiki
Mhm.
Wyatt here, or I'm
Mhm.
opening up for Sammy B Slade, and that's where all these other opportunities started to roll
Wow.
in. I
Yes.
remember being at an open mic and I was singing The Way, Jill Scott, and at the time, before, like I said, your voice changes over time, and at the time, I wasn't even smoking weed then. I don't know if I can say that, but at the time, like I was able to hold out these long notes. Like we'd be up there 25, 26, 27 seconds, and I'd just be holding the note, and it'd be like,
Wow.
is it gonna end? Like I really was on my Mariah Carey for real, for real.
Yes.
I remember singing The Way, and I remember holding this note so long, and Tweet stood up, and I didn't even know she was there. And I was like, it's Charlene.
Right. Right. Not
Like,
even see Charlene. Yes.
like
Yes.
this is Charlene. Like, this is Missy. Like, yeah. And so
Yes.
she, after the show, she was like, you should come to my show. I'm doing a show on Thursday. I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll come. And got to meet Angie Stone. There were all these other people that were at the show. And so it's like you kind of
Yes.
find yourself. And I was like, okay, so this is how you do it. You go to these events and you go sing, or you go and you show support, and then the people will
You got to be in a loop.
you
Yes.
got to be in the loop. But also, this is where I learned that all support is not equal,
Yeah. Not with your
because
interest.
you will
Mm-hmm.
show up for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and your audience will be just as empty because the same people that you done showed up to support, they not there for you.
Yes.
And so that's when I learned about leveraging. Before I even got with my therapist,
Yes.
that's when I learned about leveraging. Okay, so who's don't do it unless it's reciprocal.
Yes.
We're not doing this to get something, but I can't at the same time be running in the overdraft, and I need.
Right. Right.
So
Because
that's kind of where we got
you
there.
know you need an anchor as well. Where's your support? So where's your anchor?
Where's my support system?
Yeah.
Who's going to
Yeah.
refill my cup when it
Yes.
runs empty?
Mm-hmm.
5 miles till empty. Hello.
All right,
And
hello.
so, but that's even meeting Nikki Gilbert. Like, you meet all these people, and it's like, okay, so like this is a real thing. I really could do this. I really can find myself in these things. Now, mind you, just to take you back a little bit, around now I met K Michelle at the beginning of her career. I'm not even trying to name drop, but just this
Oh,
is
go
just
ahead. It's all right.
this is like random stuff that would happen. And so around the time like this was like 2009, no, 2010, 2011. So this is like when Twitter is real popular. Like the
Mm-hmm.
celebrities and everybody, like Kim and Keisha were beefing, Sierra and Rihanna were beefing, like you had to be there. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember being introduced to K Michelle. I remember reading a Sister to Sister article, and I tweeted something about her, and she slid in my DMs. And at the time, I'm in this relationship, and she sent me a DM and was like, "What part of town do you live in?" Because nobody was able to assess this song the way that you broke this song down. I want to sit with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to get into that.
Wow.
And she was like, "Come meet me at the tavern in this area. This is where I'm at." And
Wow.
I was like, Bet I'm on my way. Well, at the time, I didn't know how to drive a stick. That was my only way to get there. So the person I was dating was being a hater and was like, "No, we're not going to hang with K Michelle." But I did get to hang with K Michelle much later, a couple years later, because she was filming Love and Hip Hop. And so if you look at some of those early episodes, you may
See?
see me in the background.
Yeah, another
But
door opening. Yep.
yeah, like you have all these. So like we got to meet Mona Sky, and I was at the time I never forget. I was like, Mona, you should put me on Love and Hip Hop. Like I'm such a polarizing personality, whatever. Just trying to convince her. I was just trying to get on,
You just
and
like,
she was like, do you know like we study people for like years before we let them on our platform. So she was like, I'll definitely be watching you, but you know we've been watching Kay for a while. Like we know her
oh
story.
yeah,
I'm like
oh yeah.
so that's when I started to kind of dive into like how do
Mhm.
you get on these shows? And so for me, it was like, let me go do my homework. Let me see how I can get in some of these spaces. And so that's where you have Housewives of Atlanta. That's where you have
Mhm.
what was Deb Antney's show? I was in the background on
Oh
that.
yeah, okay. Is
Um
it your grown up hip hop?
Grown Up Hip Hop, yeah. SWV was doing.
Yeah.
They were filming here for their reality show at the time.
Sunscreen. I think I
They
yeah.
didn't. My scene didn't hit the show, but I went. I never forget they were
Oh,
looking for
really?
background singers, and I went and auditioned for them for that. So that particular segment didn't make the
Wow.
show,
You
but
really
like,
all up and through.
yeah, like we were around, and so even that
Wow.
that those couple of scenes with Kay. Later on, in I think it was 20. It's been a couple of seasons of Love and Hip Hop that got me, you'll
In the
see me in
thriller.
certain scenes on that
Right.
show. So yeah, like those instances were kind of, and like I said, I'm just recounting as I go. But those instances, and even being in the YouTube space early on doing
Yes.
YouTube covers, like you get the nods from Kenny Lattimore, your Sunshine Andersons. One
Hmm.
nod that I will never, that I will carry probably to the end of my life. I got a nod from Bobby Caldwell. I was singing "What You Gonna
Oh,
Do for Love," and that man hit me up
yes.
on Twitter. I probably still have the
Yes.
screenshot of the tweet. That man hit me up on
Yes.
Twitter and was like, "Dude, you got it." Like, and that's when I stopped. Like,
And
and
you
people will
and
say
I mean,
stuff.
DJ, one pause 1 second, DJ, because I mean, you dropping some heavy hitters here, so
Yeah, like, and I don't mean to
you
just
can't be
disrespect. I'm
glossing.
just thinking
No,
like
but
it's
no,
stuff.
I don't want you glossing over that, DJ. No, don't gloss over that. No, I'm saying that for a reason because these are some heavyweights here, and I want you to understand this. Like, you are really speaking on some real like heavy hitters here, and I want to know like. How do you receive that? Like how does it register in you? Like how do you receive that? Like
Ooh.
you gotta tell me like how do you receive this? Like all of these just hitting you with these heavyweights.
You know
I
what?
mean, you talk about some
I'll say
legit some
this.
icons here.
It means more to me now than it did then, because then I don't think I recognized the magnitude
Oh man,
of who and what.
yes,
Now it means the world, because
because
you're
yes,
talking to somebody who, just being very honest and transparent, being in this music space in Atlanta, these people can make you feel like you cannot sing. And I said it when I was on the way up Atlanta season 3. I said it, these people will make you feel like you cannot sing. These people will make you feel like you are not talented. If you can't
yes,
squall, hoot and holler. If you can't hit the highest note on the tenor scale
right.
or the
That's
highest note
it.
on the
Yeah,
piano,
yeah,
these
yeah,
people will make you feel like you can't sing. If you can't run like Jasmine, Kim,
yeah.
Brandy, you name it, you can't sing. If you can't do the jazz, the jazz tones like Chrisette Michelle, you can't sing. And so to have somebody validate your gift, a gift that was specially and individually, oh God, I'm getting emotional again. Somebody who crafted something that was specially created just for you, and they can validate that gift, especially validated at a time and in a space where you may not be as confident in it, or you may not be where you're supposed to be in it, or you may not have grown in it the way that you feel like you should. To have these people validate your stuff, it's like, oh my God,
It's
like
amazing. It's amazing.
it is amazing to
It
even
gotta go
have
up
lived
from
in the same
there. Yeah,
lifetime with
yeah,
these
it's gotta
people.
go up from there. I mean, there's no way up
Yeah.
but up. There's no way but up. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
that's
even say
insane.
when I was auditioning for Kelly. So this is a story I've never told. So you're actually getting this
Oh,
exclusively.
exclusive.
I was in school at Georgia State. I was like, all right. this is it. Like if we don't do this, like we're out of here. Like I'm never doing music again because I was at a point where I didn't want to do it anymore. Because like I said, the people
Hmm.
will make you feel like they
Hmm.
will rob you of your joy. You cannot let these people rob you of your joy. And I remember a friend of mine calling me and was like, Kelly Price is looking for background singers. You should audition. And I was like, I'm not auditioning for that because she's already made her decision on what she's gonna do. She picked her background singers. But I was like, you know what? It set on me, and I literally waited to the last minute. I got up one morning, I went to the gym, and I purposely tried to sabotage my audition tape because I did not sleep the night before. We were out partying. Got
What?
up, went to the gym, left the gym, and was sitting in the car and was like, today's the last day to submit an audition tape. Can I live with this if I don't audition? And as I'm driving, like the question begins to replay, and I'm like, no, I can't. I'm gonna audition because I know her music. I'm going to audition because this it may work this time. Let's just see. We don't know. So I called my vocal coach and I was like, Avery, I'm coming over. I gotta sing the national anthem. I need you to film this. And if I mess up, I need you to stop me and make me do it again. He's like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, cool. And I said, and we're gonna do it all day if we have to until we get this right.
Mm-hmm.
But I have got to submit my audition tape today before this time. And he's like, all right, cool, let's get it done. And I think after about 8 or 9 takes, because I tell people I'm the king of the national anthem, but I'm also a perfectionist. You would hate to see me in my studio sessions because my engineer would be like, that was perfect. And I'm like, no, it wasn't, because I scratched here. Let's do it again.
Ah.
So but we were in that thing, we were in his apartment, in his living room, and I was like, and the home of the brave. And I was like, did I do it? And he's like, yes. And I was like, yes. So we did it. Awesome. So I submit the tape and I go home and I take a nap. And I wake up from my nap and I get on Instagram, and my video was the second video that she picked. So I was like, oh, so
What?
I'm in the competition now. I'm like,
Right?
okay.
You
So me, I'm like, this ain't gonna last long. You know, you're trying to psych yourself out in the process. And so we went through a couple of different changes. We would have these Zoom meetings, and what we didn't know, it was literally like making the band. It's like you're having these Zoom meetings, and she's pouring into you, but you don't know that that's a challenge. And
Mhm.
so at the end of the challenge, she would get on Instagram and she'd be like, "All right, cool. So if I'm gonna post 2 lists, and on list A, if you're on list A, then you're still in the competition. If you do not see your name on list A, thank you so much for participating. You're out." And so, like, you would see these numbers start to dwindle. And so there was a point in the competition where we had 2 groups. I had an all guy group, and then I had an all girl. It was a mixed group. So it was
Mhm.
me and 4 other girls, and then me and these 3 other guys. And like some of the songs we had to learn just off the top of my head, "For the Love of the People" by the Clark sisters, and we had to learn our own individual parts. Okay. We had to learn
Ah.
"Blessed and Highly Favored" by the Clark
Yeah.
sisters,
Oh.
"The Rain" by Kelly, not "It's Gonna Rain," but "The Rain" from the Kelly album. And what was another song that we had to learn? I feel like it was "You Should Have Told Me," but I could have that wrong. But anyway, we would do we like I said, we would break off into these groups, learn the parts, and then we would have to sing the song with our individual groups in front of her. And it may be her husband, her assistant, and whoever else might be on the panel that night. And I remember my group did "For the Love of the People," and I took Dorinda's part. So we're singing
Mhm.
it, we're all in unison, whatever. And her assistant was like, "Sing this part again." So he singles me out. He's like, "Sing this part again." And the way I sang it, when Dorinda sings it, she sings it straight. For me, I added a little
Run.
something at the end. It was a "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son." It was something like that, something real subtle.
Mhm.
And he's just like, "You're no longer in the competition because the original record didn't do that." And that's when Miss Price was like, "No, no, 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 no,
Ah.
no, no, no,
Mhm.
no.
Mhm.
Cause just must know that we are blessed and highly favored. And then so I jumped in and took the note under her. And she's like, you want to a voice like that you want to eliminate from
You
this
eliminate.
competition? No. So I'm still in the competition. My guy group got
Wow.
eliminated, but I was still in it. So I was like, all right,
Right.
cool. So we're do. And then we had to do one-on-one interviews. And in those one-on-one interviews, some of the questions were, "What was the date my debut album dropped?" or "What's your favorite song out of my entire catalog?" That was the first question she asked me. First of all, at the time she was on the West Coast, I was on the East Coast, so she thought I was on West Coast time. So when she called around this point in the competition, backstory, she tells everybody, "I'm going to call you. I have your individual numbers. I'm going to call you, and I'm only going to call you one time. So any call that comes through on your phone, pick it up because it may be me. And I'm
Mm.
only going to call you one time. If you do not answer this call, consider yourself eliminated from this competition." So I was like, "Oh, we getting to the meat of it now." Okay. And I remember she called me. It was like 1 in the morning. And I'm a night owl. So I'm always up at all
Right.
times of night. So she calls and she's like, "I'm so sorry to call you so late." And I said, "Oh no, please, this is normal for me, so I'm normally up at this hour." She's like, "Well, that's good to know." And she's like, "So I just want to get into a couple of questions just to kind of get a feel for you or whatever." And she's like, "What's your favorite song by me?" And I said, "Well, today it's I Still Do from the Priceless album." But I was like, if you ask me what my favorite song by you was yesterday, it's She Wants You from your debut, from your second album. But I've been playing Don't Say Goodbye nonstop for the last 2 weeks from your debut. But then some days Metamorphosis is my favorite. But then on other days, my favorite is Never Been Scared. And she's sitting there like, "You haven't named a single yet.
Right. I'm single. Right. You named
Like,
the. Yeah.
why do you know?" And she's like, "Why do you know these songs?" And I'm like, "Well, I know these songs because I know you used to do backgrounds for Mariah. And so you kind of take after her in the way that you craft your songs. Like, I know that this song is the sequel to this song. And with this song, what you did was you took us on a little segue, but you brought us back here." And she was like,
Amazed.
nobody at the label knew
Mhm.
that. Nobody at the label understood that. And the fact that you were able to. So I have another question. And so we start diving in, and
Yes.
she's like, "This,
Right. That this.
okay." So I have the video in my phone still. And one
Wow.
day I need to check to make sure it's not under the clause of my NDA. But I'll show y'all the video of how it went.
Yeah. Oh, I would
But
love to see it.
yes, she literally was like in front of everybody because she would do these Instagram reels, and she would come on and she would talk to us and give us the instructions for the next challenge or whatever. And she was like, "I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, like interviews were great, but the person that y'all need to look out for is Melvin Rambo. He
Mm.
is an intentional singer. He has come prepared to learn and acquire what this team has to offer, but he also knows the artist that he is singing for. He knows the
Yes.
catalog. He
Yes.
knows the deep cuts, the features. Like, it was one feature, God's Gift by Jeff Majors, and she was like, "You really got to be a fan to know that." And I'm like, I was a fan the moment I heard it.
Mhm.
The moment I heard it, like the harps and the what's the line? "There are no extra people." I was like, "Oh," like it just gives me goosebumps when I think about it. I just get so excited. But anyway, so that's how I ended up doing backgrounds for Miss Price. I was at the grocery store minding
Wow.
my own business. We were at the end of the semester, and I got a phone call while I was in the checkout line at Kroger. And one of my friends was like, "Oh my God, like congrats, like Kelly picked you." And I'm like, "What do you mean she picked me?" They're just like, "Yeah, like you are her background singer." I'm like,
Wow. You the
"How
last
you know that?" Like,
one.
nobody even knew I was auditioning. And sure enough, if you scroll through her timeline, you will find that video where she announces that myself and
Wow.
Arlisha M from TikTok and all over social media, like she has this huge Instagram following. But that's how we got picked as her background singers. Arlisha was picked before I was.
Wow.
But that's how that whole journey started. And so some people, are just like, "Oh, well, that's his only claim to fame." Well, honey, it's a great claim to fame
Yeah.
to have because some people can't even get in the room.
Right. It's
So,
great. Hey, that's what it is. Let that be known then. Okay, well, hey,
You
so
know.
so be it. So
And
when
while we were doing that, we were doing Kanye's Sunday service. We were doing backgrounds for Yummy
mm,
Bingham. We were outside doing the things, and
doing the
then
things, I love
so
that for you.
God
Yeah,
is
I
good,
love
man.
that for you. So when did you become DJ the singer?
I became DJ the Singer in high school. I was writing songs, and the way I got into writing songs that a lot of people don't know, I used to feel like my parents didn't listen to me. I felt like y'all just want to ruin my life. You want to run my life. You want to tell me what to do, and nobody's listening to me. And so I was like, y'all may not be able to hear, but you can read. So I'd be writing these songs, and I'd just be like, I wanna go
Here
out.
it is.
I want to leave the house, but my daddy said I gotta talk to my mama, and you know that she says no always. She says no always. She says no always. Like it's just real silly little ditties, and I remember a fond memory. Monica has this song "So Gone." And
Hmm.
I would just take people's instrumentals and I write songs over them. Well, I was in this situation with the person that I ended up getting engaged to, and I remember finding out that I went out of town and they cheated on me, and so I got that instrumental and I wrote a song over it, and I was like, I'm going to the studio to lay that down because this is hot, and got in the studio, laid it down. It's some real basic, melodies and stacks or whatever. I hadn't discovered who I was gonna be artistically yet. I just knew that I loved Keisha Cole and I loved Mary J. Blige, and I knew that I wanted to sing my stories in my music. And that's, like I said, that song came about. This person's baby sister got a hold of the song on a CD because they started selling it in the beauty supply store. And so she got a hold of this song, and it wasn't anything huge. It was maybe like 50 copies that went out, but she got a hold of that CD. And I went over to the house one day, and she was playing it. I was like, "Where'd you get that?" And she's like, "Oh, I got it from the beauty supply store." And she was like, "You want to hear it again?" I said, "That's me. I wrote that." And she's like, "This is you?" And I said, "Yeah, I wrote this." Oh no. And so person comes in the living room and is like, "Yeah, she's been playing this song all day. Like, I just
Wow.
wish she would turn it off." And then I start singing the song, and then it's like, "Wait, you wrote
Mhm,
that?"
mhm.
"Yeah, I wrote it about you." "Oh." So that's how DJ the Singer came about. I started writing these songs because I felt like my parents wouldn't listen to me. Got a track and was like, okay, let me see if I can do it again. And that's kind of how that happened. But the name DJ the Singer, like I said, at the time I was doing radio, so
Oh, okay.
they never called me by my radio name. And I went through a few different radio names. It was DJ Mel, DJ Meezy. I was MC at one point, the real MC, not Mariah Carey, but the real MC, because the name is still MC. And so like they never called me that. They would just always be like, "DJ, I need you to make a run," or "DJ, we gotta go do a live broadcast at Bishop Park," or "We're going to this church service, so we gotta do a live broadcast," whatever. So I had a dream one night that I was in Times Square, and I saw my face up on one of the big screens in Times Square. It was the day or the night before my album was supposed to drop, and it was like new album, DJ the Singer, and it was my face. And I was just like, well, we'll take that as a sign. Let's run with it. Now, I will say, as of recent, I have definitely considered changing my name to some nigga named Melvin. But I don't think marketing wise, I don't think that would go over well. So
No, yeah. Yeah, stay where you are. Stay where you are, DJ. You
yes,
find
we'll
me.
stay with DJ the
Yeah,
Singer. And
yes,
like,
yes.
when it comes to my personal life, it's like it's not about. It's like Cheers. You want to go where everybody knows your name. It's just which name do you know? Like if you really ask
Right.
my uncle is the only one that calls me Junior. Around the house, it may be Melvin, it may be Mel, it may be MC, it may be M. It just depends on who you're talking to. If we're in a certain space, they be like horse, or they be like donk, or they be like booty, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is. But I just be outside. I just be living my life.
Yes, living it very much abundantly. But there was a time where you had actually did accomplish something, and whoop, there it is.
Yes, one of
Yes,
my proudest
yes,
moments.
yes. Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I had to acknowledge this. So, and this is Morris Brown, correct?
Yes, this is Morris Brown College. I graduated magna cum laude from Morris Brown
Woo!
with my degree in
Yes.
organizational management and leadership.
Yes. Yes. So I mean, that moment right there, and I know that you had some back and forth with it, with your education, and it's hard. Like I sometimes it's hard to commit to going to school. So once you've done that and you achieve this along with your creativity, you're managing all of that. So how was it? Like how did you feel? Like what was resonating in you when you was walking across that stage?
So let me say this. Me going back to school this last time was a decision I made. It wasn't a decision anybody made for me. My living arrangement, I had honestly grown tired of having a roommate. I knew that I was getting to a different place in life. And my thing was, I want to get married. I may want a kid, I may not. But I know I don't want to live like this, and I know I can do better.
Hmm.
And my initial plan was I'm going to start back school now. I'll renew my lease and then I'll ride that out until it's time for me to graduate. In the
Hmm.
meantime, I can stack my money. I can be, doing classwork and whatever else. Life has a way of, they always say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And in
Hmm.
that situation, that was the situation where I didn't necessarily tell God what I was going to do, but I was like, I'm ready to go back to school. This is how I want to, how I want to do it. And God laughed and was like, oh, this is what you want to
Oh,
do?
yes,
Okay,
that's
cool.
right.
One moment. And life literally, and that's why I said earlier, don't let it be a situation where God has to sit you down in order to get your attention,
Right.
because that sit down is crucial. And 2025, I had to sit down. I had to sit all the way down. I had to stop everything. I couldn't perform. I couldn't really leave my house. I couldn't do much of anything.
You got to remain
Um,
sincere. Yeah.
like yeah, like life was
Hmm.
real. Life was happening. Life got real, and it got real real fast.
Yes.
But what I will say is I got through that first semester. I took a course that allowed me to completely skip my junior year, because I was in the business department, so I was a business major, and I was like, oh, okay, well, cool, I can take my experiences in my previous work experiences. I can apply those to real credit. And so I exempted 27 out of 30 credits. So that
Hmm.
completely wiped out my junior year. So I
Hmm.
literally came in as a sophomore, did that first semester, and actually, no, I lied. I didn't completely skip my junior year. I had to do one semester of my junior year because I came in a first semester sophomore and then did that first semester, came back in the spring, and then I was second semester junior. So when I came back that following year, I was a senior. But yeah, I got in straight A's that first semester, with the exception of one class. I got a D, but it doesn't matter now because D's do get degrees, but y'all strive for A's. Did that first semester, got straight A's, and then came back second semester, got all A's and one B. Wanted to go to summer school, couldn't afford it, but when I tell you I've done everything to pay for school. I listen, did everything, sold piece of penis. I was working fast food. I was doing Uber. I was doing backgrounds for the people. Like I really was doing.
You was
I was
going
doing
hard.
my
You
big
was
one
going hard.
because I had made a promise to my grandmother and my daddy that I was going to finish what I started, and I did. And sitting in that seat at that commencement ceremony, and they finally called my name to walk across that stage,
Hmm.
nothing else mattered. Nothing
Hmm.
mattered but that moment. I felt like I finally completed something. I've completed high school. I've made albums. I've reached a certain level in my career in music, a place that I never thought I would get to. Thank you, God. But
Hmm.
to graduate from college is something that I did not, by that point, I didn't see it for me. I had given up
Right.
on it.
So that achievement just really took you there. But also, DJ, let me challenge you real quick. So looking at this, I want you to um kind of tell this person from where you are right now. Tell this person, where do y'all go from here? Let them know. Let them know what your what how your steps are ordered at this point. Let them know, like, where do you go? Where do y'all go from here?
Who's the person?
Him, you're the one you're looking at. You're looking at him right there.
Oh, me. Okay. I was like, who are we talking about? Who's the person? I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know. I was like, who's the person? Here's where we go from here. We go up. I
Mm-hmm.
sat in that commencement ceremony and I felt like really and truly, I felt like I could fly. I felt like I
Hmm.
could just step outside, put on a cape, and fly all over the city. Um, I said I probably would be the one to go and get a doctorate,
Okay.
just because, just to see if I could actually do it. But where we go from here, we go up. I am at a place where anything that I want, anything that I can envision, anything that I can conceive, I can have it. And I can have it because I am God's child. He made me, therefore I am of him. And therefore I may not have all of the capabilities, but I have some. And so anything that I want. If I want to sell out Madison Square Garden or go write a book, if I want to go back to school and get my master's, or if I want to settle down and have a family, I could do that. I just felt like after obtaining that degree, I felt like the possibilities for this side of life were endless. So where we go from here, baby, we go up. I'm proud of you. You did it. You overcame. The people said you never would, and you did. And I think that was more so the sweetest part for me, or one of the sweet parts. It was just like, you got people that are just like, if you take a break, you're never gonna go back. You know, your mama didn't go back. I'm not her. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
and we finished, and and as my mama said, you didn't just finish, you finished with flying colors. Because we
Yes.
didn't, because the gag is, the surprise for me and everybody else was that I graduated magna cum laude, because we didn't know. I didn't know I was graduating with honors until we got ready to line up and march. So they had given me another cord, and I was like, well, what's this cord for? And they were just like, oh, you're an honors graduate.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
Well, that's crazy.
Didn't even
That's,
know. So yeah, God, I may not be the most religious person, but my prayer has constantly been, especially in dark times, my prayer has always been, God, just shine your light over here. Just a little while longer. If you could just clear out the clouds and anything that's keeping me from your light, like if you could just clear that out for me, just shine your light over here. And
hmm.
with achieving that, I definitely feel like, yeah, he
Absolutely.
did that. He
He,
did
yeah,
that.
yeah, he did it, and you did that, and so I am definitely proud of you. Congratulations again on
Thank
everything.
you. They
Yes,
surprised me
yes.
last night with stuff, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm thinking, because we're in the middle of filming season 2 of The Scene Atlanta, and so
Check that out.
spoiler alert.
Yes.
So we had an event, and I'm thinking I'm showing up for somebody else, and I walked in, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is one
Oh,
for me."
oh,
And
that's
so I didn't even cry. I didn't
nice.
even cry that moment. So I
Oh,
think this is residual from last night. I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys love me. You love me for real."
oh. Oh yeah, so those that don't know that DJ is going to be a part of the season 2 of the Scene Atlanta. Make sure that you check that out. It is created by Carl, who I interviewed with, by the way. So
Yes,
check
Carl
out
and
that
Miss
interview.
JT.
Yeah, and Miss JT, yes, that
Mhm.
this is their production. So please make sure you check that out, and that link is going to be in the description box as well. So
Fun
yes.
fact that the people don't know, I had brought a concept to JT, so it's funny that we ended up with The Scene Atlanta. And I'm not saying, and by no means am I
Mhm,
saying that she stole my concept. Let me be very clear. I want to put that
mhm,
out there because
mhm.
you know the people will take that and run with it.
Yes, yes, they will.
They will take it and run with it, honey. No, I had brought a around the time that we were wrapping up filming for On the Way Up Atlanta season 3, and I had brought a concept to JT, and I was like, I want to do a show. I want to produce a show with real friends, 8 episodes, and it shows our everyday. Like it shows our ups, downs, and in betweens in this friendship. And I threw some names out there. How ironic that the majority of those names ended up being a part of the
Being a
scene
part of
and
it.
not on the cast
Okay.
in other places in production or whatever, or those people have gone on to do other productions. But I was like, I it's interesting how this ended up being the product. So I love it. I think that they really do have something. I really
Yeah.
do
Hmm.
believe that this show is the next hot thing on these YouTube streets. So yes, y'all please tune in. It is not too late to get caught up with season 1. I was
Hmm.
there, but I wasn't there, but you will get a lot more of me for season
Yes,
2.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And so now I want to have a little bit more fun with you, DJ.
Okay.
All right, and so I want you. There's a couple of a segment. There's a segment that I want you to do later on. So get your vocal parts together. Woo! Get your vocal parts together.
Okay, cool.
Moisten your vocals right there. But before we get to that, I want to do a little bit of this or that.
Okay.
All right.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
All right. So since you was putting some stuff out there, and I'm more of a music lover, so a lot of these subjects is gonna be music related. But I put out just random things, and you can't plead the fifth. You can't choose both. This or that. Either one or the other.
Okay.
All right. So yeah. So yeah, you put some stuff out there. So now I know what your music palette is. So that's good. That helps me out a lot in this.
Yes.
All right. So Pac-Man or Mario Brothers?
Ooh. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna say Super Mario Brothers, and I only say that because both my dad and my grandmother were. When I tell you, they could have gone to anybody's Pac-Man championship and beat out
What?
the master. You would go to an arcade game, and my mom would be like, "Let's go get hot dogs. This is gonna take a while." That's what they played. But
Wow.
I loved Super Mario, the movies, the game, all of it. Super Nintendo 64. I was Super Mario down.
All
Yes,
right. So you named you named your quite a few people. So Duran Bernard or A.V. Wilson?
Duran. I
Okay.
love Avery, right? I love them
Yes.
both. They're both great
That's right.
singers.
Yes, we understand. I totally
But
get it.
Duran, I feel, is the more relatable artist. I feel
Okay.
like
Mm-hmm.
Duran is the artist with, for me as a singer, the more achievable range versus Avery.
Yes. Mhm.
Avery goes places that I wish I could go. Avery goes places that I'm only able to go when I'm hoarse. But Avery can do it on a good day, and I be sitting up there in the shower on a horse day, we're singing real Mariah Carey songs, okay? Like
Uh-huh.
not the B sides, but we're singing
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
singles, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would say Duran, but I love both of their music individually. They're
Gotcha.
both great.
All right. So cashews or almonds?
Almonds.
Okay. Um,
Almonds. That was easy. I
I
went through a bag of almonds
can
in a
tell.
minute.
Yeah. All righty. So James Cleveland or no. Scratch that. Daryl Coley or John P. Key?
Oh, that's so hard.
Thank you. Good. I stuck you. Good. I love to stick people in this. I love it.
I'ma just go sit in the sanctuary because that's a hard one. I
No,
can't.
you got to. So,
They both.
can't get out of this one. So, you got to pick one.
Okay, John P. Key.
It's all right. It was me.
It's hard.
I put it
It's
out there. It
so
was
hard.
me. Blame it all on me. Say it's my fault. Speaking of that, Chrisette Michelle or Samara Joy?
Oh my God.
I know, right? Ain't I the stinker?
Chrisette Michelle. And I love both of them. I love both of
Yes.
them. But
I,
yes.
mean, I totally get it. I totally get it. All right. All right. So, Hanger, Mr. Cooper, or Steve Harvey show?
Girlfriends. Listen. Listen. You had to be around for that UPN era. But anyway, I'm gonna say Steve Harvey.
I ain't say nobody don't do a girlfriend. What the hell? I'm thinking,
I'm gonna say Steve Harvey because Steve Harvey. Oh, city. Listen, Steve Harvey show. I wanted to be a part of the cast. That was the cast
Oh,
I wanted to
you
be a
guys want
part
the
of.
students?
I wanted to be one of the
Okay,
students.
okay. All right, so I don't know if you can let me know if you eat this or not, but ham or turkey?
Turkey.
Okay. All right, so
I had turkey last night. I was supposed
are
to
you
have a
really?
cold trio from Subway, and they gave me a turkey sub, and I ate it just the same
Hey,
because I was hungry.
yeah. All right. Spaghetti and meatballs or spaghetti and ground beef? There's a difference.
There is a difference. So I'm gonna say both, and I'm gonna say
No,
both because, well, hold
no.
on, I'm gonna tell you. I have to tell you. I'm gonna say both
I don't care.
because
It doesn't matter. Your explanation doesn't matter.
I make my meatballs with ground beef. Well, yeah, ground beef or ground turkey. So I'm gonna say meatballs.
Okay, thank you. Because I was like, it didn't matter what you had to say because I didn't gonna give you a whole speech about it. I don't care. I
She's like, I don't care.
All right. So, fettuccine alfredo or spaghetti bolognese. Fettuccine alfredo or spaghetti bolognese.
Fettuccine.
Okay. But if you're not familiar with both, let me know if you're not familiar with both. Just that way
No,
I.
no, 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 no. I'm familiar with both. I just
Okay, I just
know,
want to
like,
make sure.
I know me, and I'm like, if I'm
Okay.
looking at a menu, what am I going to first? I'm gonna definitely probably get the fettuccine. Even when I'm ordering lunch, I'm like, yeah, let me get the
Okay.
fettuccine for
All
sure.
right. Just want to make sure. Okay, no problem. No worries. All right. So, Scissor or Summer Walker?
Oh, I'm gonna say summer because
Yeah.
I've been playing summer heavy, man. There's a song on this last album. I like "Don't Make Me Do It," but there's a song on this last album called "Baller," and I'm such a hood rat. Like I'm just ratchet, and when y'all are not looking, I'm so ratchet. And so I need a baller, shot caller, like like it's one of those. So yeah, definitely. And because it's a play off of the Cash Money song, like
Mhm.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just a hood rat. So
You
definitely
just yeah.
summer.
I mean, a lot of us like our ratchet songs. Like I mean, I love I Get Around by Tupac, even though I shouldn't, but
Yes.
I should do. I
I'm gonna
do.
put you on. Nicole Ray sampled that for her single
Really?
"I Like It," so I'm gonna put you on. Go check
Oh
it
yeah.
out.
Okay.
It's "I
Thank you.
Like It." Nicole Ray featuring Two Chains. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. All righty. All right. So Midnight Star or Atlantic Star? I know. Oh God, you and Scotty with that face. Oh my God, I gotta screenshot that face. I gotta screenshot that face.
Baby.
Oh my Lord.
Man, this is hard. I'm gonna
Ooh, that
say
face.
Atlantic Star because that was I played them last. It
Okay.
hadn't been that long since I played Midnight Star, but I played Atlantic Star last. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
feeling the
great
groove.
choice. Uh,
Yeah.
all right, so okay, which one of these songs, "Groove Is in the Heart" by Delight or "Set It Off" by Strafe? I think that's the name is Strafe. "Groove Is in the Heart" and or "Set It Off" by Suggest. Yeah, which one?
I'm gonna say this. Both of them get me to move.
Yeah, yeah.
Both of them get me to move. Set it off. Set it off. Yeah, because that's. I remember I heard it at one party. We had too much to drink, and I didn't want the song to end.
All
Yeah,
right,
some beach luau, but yes,
last one.
yes.
Martha Wash or Shirley Murdoch? I know, I did it. I done did it now.
That's so hard
I know.
because I appreciate them both for two totally
Yes.
separate reasons.
Hmm.
I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna say Shirley solely because there's a song in her catalog called "I Love Me Better Than That,"
I
and
love me better than that.
yep,
All right.
that song has been on a few soundtracks within my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
so it's
That's a good one.
Shirley always. Yeah, it's Shirley.
Good job, GJ. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did the thing. You did that. So now, this is a segment that I would like to do more often, but but I don't have that many singers. So
It's
I
all right. We gotta
want you
get
to,
you some more
yes,
bangers.
yes, but I want you to take the opportunity to sing it how you read it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yo, Addison, singing challenge.
Right. So I'm going to be putting out, some stuff, and you're gonna have to sing a song about it. You want to sing a song about it? Ready?
Okay.
Here you go.
Let's see. Sing it. All right.
Sing it.
Let's see. How would I sing it? Does anybody know this man? He's in the corner peeing, trying to shake my hand.
Come on, that's so good. Oh, come on, you gotta do something. You gotta give me a
Okay,
little
let's
more.
see. Does anybody know this man? He's in the corner being trying to shake my hand. I just want to dance for y'all. I just want to go home with y'all. And I just play it. I just made it up. But
Okay.
that's a good one. I might have to go back and record that. There's this
Yeah,
man
yeah,
who's
yeah.
trying to
Can't put that in the
shake my
studio.
hand. He's drunk at the club. Talking with your mouth full. Okay.
Ugh, can't stand that.
Can't stand it. Can't
Mm-mm.
stand it.
Mm-mm.
Can't stand it. I'm talking with your mouth full. I ain't trying to hear no more bull. Why you talking with your mouth full? You can go, go, oh, oh, oh. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah,
Oh.
okay. All right, here we go. Come on, sing it now. Get
Hey, you over there. What's in that can? It don't look like spam. I am scooping out the toe jam. Hey, you over there.
Is that a rap? Is that a hip hop song?
Yeah, it's a hip hop song. Hey, you over there
Yeah.
in the pink underwear. It
Hey.
don't look like spam. You're scooping out your toe jam.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's okay. Now this
Yes.
one, just in this one, you gotta chill on this one right here.
Okay.
Give me,
Ooh,
give
I
me
have
that.
a song about this. All
That-
right.
that- that's why you think I did it. Why you think I wrote that? That
So
was
I'm gonna sing
purpose.
a piece of the prequel because what the people don't know, there was a whole interlude called "Pull Up" that we were gonna do. That was gonna be the
Now I
intro
want
to
to
the
hear.
album, and then
Well,
with the
you can do
voicemail.
that after you. You can do that after you sing. You sing what I want to hear. That's what
Okay.
I put that out there.
Let's see. Um.
Give me the
No
hook.
time to be
Mhm.
up at the mall, but you're steady ignoring my calls. Gonna make me pull up, pull up. You gonna make me pull up, all up on my social media, and I put it always on. Oh, I forgot what the next
I
line
know
was,
you
but
saw
you
me
gonna make
calling.
me pull up, and you gonna make me pull up. So yeah, it was something like that. But yeah,
Yeah, but I want to hear the actual.
ignoring my calls. Oh no, no. Okay, so.
I know you
Um,
saw me calling. I know you got my message, and I know you saw me calling. I know you got my message. Come on, I want
I
to hear that.
know
Yeah, come
you
on.
ain't sleep. I
You,
know you saw
you
me
saw
coming. I know you got my message. I know you saw me calling. I know you got my message. I know you saw me calling. I know you got my message, and I know you ain't sleep. Been blowing up your phone, but you ain't answering. No doubt, on straight to voicemail again. I text you this morning, don't front. It's 1 a.m. and still no response. I won't lie, you got me feeling real sour. There's no traffic, it's after rush hour. It's the weekend, I know you ain't working. Like a detective, I'm about to be searching. All on my nerves, I swear that you be irking. All on your grandma, I'm about to be lurking. Cause you ain't that busy, you ain't that booked. Posting all over the gram and the book, so I know that you looked. Think I ain't see you double tap this and double tap that. You be all up on my story, but can't hit a nigga back. You slick be scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. And you be scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down. Your phone is always in your hand, you never put it down. Do you? That's how I know you saw me calling.
yes, yes, oh, DJ, yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Yes,
Yes.
yes. One
She's
more
like, ignoring
last
my
one.
calls.
Yes, you can't be. Yeah, you know you see me calling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did. And they did.
yeah, they did.
Hmm. I want you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It's DiiJai the Singer. Ooh. No, just
Woo,
kidding.
well,
You
what
gotta.
about
One thing
me?
I learned from Whitney, you can never go wrong with a. Like you
What
always
about
gotta
me?
have one.
Tell them, I mean, I need to subscribe to my channel.
Yes, y'all subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe
Faith
to
is
the
the
channel.
substance of
Yes.
things unseen. That's
Yes.
Bible. So yes.
Yes. Yes. But thank you for playing with me, DJ. That was fun. I appreciate that.
No, thank you. I
Yeah.
love a good game. I love a good game. I'm extremely
Yes.
competitive.
Yeah.
That's the Leo in me.
But yeah, so these are two final questions I love to ask before we wrap up. All right. So if you had the opportunity to have five people at the seat of your table, dead or alive, who would they be and why? And I need the why for each person, dead or alive.
Okay. So five people at my table, dead or alive. I'm gonna say my mom, my dad, and my brother. Those are the three. Those are three.
I need the why.
The why, because I love my friends. My friends are my heartbeat, but my family is my lifeline.
Okay.
That is my reason for why I do
I need
things.
the
And
why for each person. And even though it might be obvious, I need the why for each person. Why your mom, why your dad, but like I need the why for each person.
so I'm gonna say my dad because my father has been deceased 9 years, but I do have those moments in my adult life where I'm just like, dang, like my daddy wouldn't know what
Right.
to do, and I don't have
Yeah,
nobody to
yeah.
call. What am I gonna do? My mom, because literally my mom is my everything. That's
Yeah.
the only way that I can say that. My
Mhm.
mom is my everything, and I can assure you, this side of life would not be anything without her in it. Um, and my brother, because my brother is my voice of reason. My brother is the reason why a lot of things happen and why more things do not happen.
Mm.
My brother is, when I want to crash out, my brother's like, I got it. Let me handle it.
He was your
Cause
mm.
you know, so those are my three. And then the other two people that would sit at my table, um, at my table, I would have Mariah Carey, and
Hmm.
I would have Mariah Carey because I would want to get into the do's and don'ts. I would want to know about all of the intricacies of the business. I would want to know about the things that the general public does not talk about. Not the gossip stuff, but how can you pour into my career? What gems can you give me to help me navigate? What gems can you give me to, so that I don't, experience some of the things that you have,
Hmm.
whether it be, don't, you need more rest, don't drink alcohol before you do a show, whatever. And I'm not
Right.
saying that she does, I'm just throwing things out there.
Right.
But then you can also give me, listen, we can bake cookies and talk about it, but we bake cookies and talk about it. But the other person that would be sitting at my table, um dead or alive, I would probably say, I would say God, because we need to talk about this. we
Yeah.
we we need
I
to talk
got
about this, because I need to
you.
know. There's some things I need to know. There's some things that you ain't answered yet, and I want to know why. There's some things that you said no to, and there's some things that you have allowed to happen, and I want to know why did you make this person? Why did you even, why was I even there? Lord, please talk
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
always a
Like, so
reason.
those would be my five people at my table.
Nice. Nice. Now,
And Whitney Houston gets an honorable mention,
honorable,
because
honorable, honorable.
you
Okay.
have to have Whitney, because Whitney was the voice, and I definitely would have wanted to know, like, same thing with Mariah. Like, what
Mhm.
experiences did you have that the general people don't necessarily talk about? What guidance can you give me to be the best possible vocalist? But also, what can I do to avoid having to have vocal surgery? What can I do to
Mm,
avoid these types of people, or just that guidance?
got you. Yeah. Okay. Duly noted. And so, who would get the big piece chicken and why?
Who would get the big piece of chicken and why? It would be my brother, because he would get it before I'd even have a chance to look at it, because that's just what he does. And I would be upset for about 5 seconds, but then I just let him have it and get up and go get another piece, and that just be that.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now this final question I take from the late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So,
Okay.
DJ the Singer, when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
I would want God to say, you know, I was unsure about you for a minute. I didn't know. I did not know. And you did this and you did that and you said this and you were dead wrong for doing that and you were dead wrong for saying this. And after we've gone through this long list of everything that I have to take account for that I have seen, said, thought, and done in this body, I want him to look at me and say, but even in all of that, you made it. All I really wanted you to do was just you had to go through this life experience. You had to go through this experience called life in order to get to me.
Mm,
I know the church people will make it complex of all these things that you got to do. No, I
mhm,
never asked you to
mhm,
do any of that. All I asked
mhm.
for you to do was love me, love your neighbor, and go through this experience called life, and you did it. Servant, well done.
Well, okay. And I could tell you here in this life, well done, DJ. And also, I
Thank
just
you.
to make sure before I forget, with all the things that you've done, like I said, not only was this an interview, it was a master class, it was an awareness piece. So I really appreciate all the elements that you provided. So I want to just make
Thank
sure
you.
that I give you your flowers while you were
Thank you.
here.
Oh, I
Yes, I really
love
definitely got to do
this.
that. Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
love
What
this.
you
This would be
deserving.
me. I would be that character if I was on Charlie Brown. That would be me. And
That'll be
I would be
you.
terrorizing Snoopy. I would be the one that would terrorize Snoopy, and me and Woodstock would be
Worse
good
than worse than
friends.
worse than Lucy.
No, listen, worse than Lucy.
Oh
I
my
would
God.
terrorize Snoopy, and me and Woodstock would be good friends. We would have a beer as soon as the sun went down.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Not a beer. But any final words for us, DJ?
Any final words? I just want to thank you for opening your platform up to me to just come on and speak to the people. We tried to do this last year and I did not even realize that you reached out to me, but I am
It's
so thankful and so grateful to you just for giving me a platform
all
to
about
just
time.
yeah, and just introduce myself to the people that have never seen me. Some people know me, some people don't. And giving me a platform to come and talk about the album. Like I said, it is out right now. We are actively in the studio right now working on the deluxe. So
What?
that is coming sooner than later. And I'm excited about what's to come. I'm in a really good place. I've had some bumps, some bruises, knocked my head a couple times, but I am in a really, really good place, a really positive place, a really light place. And I want to
Wonderful.
stay here. I like it over here.
But
You
yeah, it's
know,
good. It's good. That's good stuff.
yeah, yeah. Life is fun when you free yourself from that jail cell. Get out of that
Yes,
jail
and your
cell. Ain't
control
nothing
of
in there
everything.
for you.
Right.
Ain't nothing
Mm-hmm.
in there for you. Get out of there.
Absolutely.
Go touch some
Absolutely.
grass. Go rub your feet in some grass, baby,
Right.
because
Right.
I do it
Yes.
frequently and I love it. But yeah, like I just want to say thank you and thank you to all the viewers for tuning in and anybody that's gonna watch this interview. Listen, I told y'all a lot, but I got so much more to tell y'all and so much more to show
You'll be
y'all.
back.
So y'all just stay tuned because you
Yeah,
just
you'll be
never
back.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be back. Yeah,
Listen, because we got to talk about the deluxe album when it comes
yeah,
out.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
promote that. Promote that. Your deluxe album, your second season of the scene. Yeah, all that gotta be promoted. Absolutely.
Yes, so we're gonna do some
Uh,
things. We have some
mhm.
things coming up. I'm having some conversations, so you're just gonna have to wait and see what's next.
Yes, and we will. But ladies and gentlemen, this was DJ the Mother Effing Singer. Sure, you better.
If I don't do nothing else, if I don't do nothing else, baby, I'ma sing.
DJ, thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. I love you, and I love all of your viewers. Thank y'all. Y'all stay
Yes.
far away from haters. They give you chlamydia, and you can come on over to my channel and show me some love. I love y'all.
Have a good one, DJ.
Love you.
Love you. Oh, that was DJ, the mother effing singer in the building. I mean, it was a long time coming, but I'm glad that he was here because it was the right time. And I think that if it wasn't for him being in this space with me at this time, I don't know if he would be able to be in the capacity to really open up the way he did, to really express a lot of the things that he expressed. Maybe when I've been in that place at that time. So I think, like I said, it's all about divine timing, right? So I really appreciate all the gems. He's giving you a master class. He's giving you awareness. He's been vulnerable, about his experiences, and being able to still rise to the top when it comes to his music career as well as his education. So he is a prime example of not looking like what you've been through, but still being able to get through it, in the process. So I just really thank him so much for being here. And so if you don't hear from me or see me before this coming Wednesday, I'm going to be interviewing with author Kaylin Hunt. So make sure you look out for that. And also please make sure you look at my the video that I did on my experience as a first time media correspondent for the movie premiere of the movie Rogue, that is directed, produced and written by Omega Keys. Shout out to Omega Keys, who I had the pleasure of sitting with a few weeks ago. And so make sure you look at that video. It was a time that I had, and I was so honored to be a part of that experience. Anxiety was on overdrive, but I really am really grateful for that experience, and I'm looking forward to be able to kind of get into the those spaces even more so. So I'm not going to hold you any longer, but I just want you to just make sure that you just do what who I want to do what my girl Sister Nicole
If you find the time to like, share, subscribe, don't forget, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Make sure you like, subscribe today.
Oh.
Have a good one.